Welcome to RNS Real Nerd Shit. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Evan.
Today we're going to get to Evan's favorite movie. We're going to talk about that, but real quick, I wanted to address two omissions from the podcast that we plan to cover. That being Space Jam: A New Legacy and Black Widow. I don't want to talk about those.
Me either.
You don't want to talk about them either? Good, perfect.
Do you want to give your thoughts really quick?
Just real quick.
Despite saying we
Real quick, I thought Black Widow was one of the most generic MCU movies, like bottom
it was
five.
Bad. It was bad.
For me, it's very bad. Bottom five, if not like the worst one.
It started out okay for me, and then once you get to like the final act, it just got really bad.
And plus one of the only things people point to is like, oh, the intro is like it's a analogy for sex trafficking. It's like they don't do anything with that after that. It's just kind of sprinkled in there, and
they had a really terrible Nirvana cover.
Yeah, and of course that was stupid.
Florence Pugh was good in it. I mean, I liked her.
No, me too. I like David Harbour too.
But his character didn't do anything. That was his problem. He
did way more with the character than he was paid to do. Like,
you think so?
Okay, well, they get paid a lot. But my point is I think if that was maybe someone else that didn't care as much, like, the character wouldn't have looked as good.
Red Guardian, he really did nothing. All he did was get his ass kicked at the end of the movie.
It's a funny character to start off with, but yeah, he doesn't pay off in any type of way. And
did you like his Karl Marx tattoo on his finger?
I did. That was dope.
Funny.
That made me want to freaking get my knuckles tatted.
So that made you want to become a communist.
That made me want to freaking fight for
the USSR.
Fight for potato famine or whatever.
Okay. Space Jam?
Anyways, Space Jam.
I did not see this one, so.
You didn't? I thought you watched it.
No, I didn't see it. I've seen neither Space Jam. I'm out of the loop.
You're not missing out on much. Because I love Looney Tunes.
I'm missing out on Michael Jordan.
And LeBron.
And LeBron. But Michael Jordan, he's cool.
And Bugs Bunny. But I don't.
Bugs Bunny. You can't forget Bugs.
Both of them are okay. Of course, Space Jam 1 I like because I watched it as a kid. And then Space Jam 2 is like, it's the same. Like, people are like, oh, like, it's just references and stuff. Like, what do you
expect out of this stupid movie?
These movies are based off commercials. Like, yeah. Literally, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't expect much. They're for little kids. Like, I just like Looney Tunes, so I kind of liked it.
I feel like it wouldn't resonate with me much anyway because I've never been like a Looney Tunes person. Even as a kid, I never really watched Looney Tunes. So yeah,
if you like Looney Tunes, you might get a little kick out of it. Or if you like seeing Rick and Morty come up for a minute and say hi.
Or Big Chungus.
I actually, real quick though, I did like LeBron is a better actor than Michael Jordan. and
Don Cheadle.
And Don Cheadle is a much better actor than probably any actor in the Actors Guild today.
Yes, facts.
No, but I was gonna say about like the story actually kind of meant something. You know, it's a cartoon, but at least they tried. In the original Space Jam, it's just like you have to play basketball to go home. But in this one, it's like actually has little through line character stuff, even though it's pretty, on the nose. But
Charles Barkley's not in this one.
No, he's not. No.
So the original is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have
you can't disagree with
that.
They
have very bad like cosplayers doing like the same like loop dance in the background. Like the big stadium with all the character Warner Brothers IP.
In the new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very bad. It looks like Party City like cosplayers just like doing a loop animation dance.
I saw a lot of people saying it was bad.
It was very distracting too because it's just like.
No, I just mean the movie in general. I heard people saying it was bad.
It wasn't good.
I thought you liked it.
Well, like I just like I can give it a pass for like I like Looney Tunes and whatever, but it's not good. It's about as good as the first one, which is still not good.
Oh, you had to pick Space Jam 1 or 2.
If I could never watch either of them again, I would pick Space Jam 1 because it's like from my childhood.
Yeah.
The only reason I like Space Jam 2 is because like a sequel to my little childhood movie. Like that's the only reason it's even fun to watch or anything. It's nothing special.
But today, onto the main topic, we will be talking about a little film that I enjoy quite a bit called Battle Royale. Is that correct, Dylan? Are we talking about Battle Royale today?
Yeah, like with Katniss and with PETA.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, favorite movie.
That is my favorite movie. I've actually never seen The Hunger Games, but maybe we can get into that later.
Well, that is a decent frame of reference, is that the premise is very similar to Hunger Games, but of course, this movie's a little bit derivative,
Yeah, this is the derivative one. That's the truth.
No, but so
Suzanne Collins, you're a genius.
Is there any concept? She is. Is there any concept like before this? Is Battle Royale based on anything, or is it just kind of a movie that they?
Well, it was a book first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then there was a manga. I'm not sure if that was after or before the movie, maybe around the same time. But it was originally a book, and then they made the movie. Came out in 2000, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was 2000. The movie. So I just wanted to. Do you want to just give our quick little thoughts on it?
Well, it's my favorite movie of all time, personally. I've seen it like at least over 10 times now. I saw it first when I was like in the 8th grade, maybe 7th or 8th grade. I saw it. I went to bootleg copy because it was before it finally got an original release here. It's known for having not gotten like an official release in the US for like a really long time. It wasn't until like 2014 or 2015, something like that.
That's why you buy up all those DVDs and Blu-rays like there's some crack.
I do. We can get into that, but I had seen a bootleg copy of it that my brother owned first, and that's when I first saw it. And then from there, I just like totally fell in love with it. I rewatched it again the next day.
Oh wow!
Because I watched it one night, and then the morning after I watched it again because I just liked it so much.
It's I guess I can speak to my general thoughts too. Is like I wouldn't do that, even though I did like it a lot. I did genuinely.
You'd only do that for an MCU movie.
Yeah, if it was a fucking Ant-Man 3, or Black Widow, I'm going right back on into the theater. But yeah, this movie, even though I think it does strike a very, like a good tone and like a unique tone, like where it's sad and tense, but it's also very funny. Yeah. That's pretty unique. It's pretty hard, like, tone to strike. You see a lot of movies try and fail to kind of capture that. But for me, it was, like, too sad for me to, like, wake up the next day and watch it again. Watch it
again. That's... What you're saying about the tone is actually kind of my favorite part of the movie. I guess just for those who don't know, what this movie is about... So, not this specific group. Even it focuses on one specific group of students. But in general, like
it takes place in Japan also.
Yeah,
takes place in Japan in 2000.
Does it actually take place in the year 2000? I thought the year was unknown. I thought it was like
well, they say
a 20XX type
thing. In the intro, when they give kind of the little, you get a very short little.
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie,
kind of catches you up on the world building and shit, and it says like in the year when the millennium passed, like students started being wacky and yeah.
So yeah, basically the Japanese government passes this law after like there's an economic collapse. I think I was right in Japan, and like the students are acting out. They pass this law called the BR Act, where basically every year they pick a class of students and put them on an island, and they're all forced to battle to the death. And there you go, Battle Royale.
That's about right.
And then this movie focuses on a specific group of students. And I don't think the actual year is given. I think that's kind of intentional.
I think it's just because I looked up quickly like the runtime and some basic shit about it before I started watching, and I saw that it came out in the year 2000. And then it said millennium. Yeah. In the intro of the movie, so I just assumed 2000, but it's around then. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking.
And this is your first time seeing it.
It's my first time seeing it for a fact. I originally was gonna watch it on Hulu, but they had the.
I thought it was Amazon Prime.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I know you're talking because that's the free one with ads, right?
It has the free one with ads, and they only have the dub available. Yeah. So I had to find it somewhere else. I had to go elsewhere. Yeah. I found a good version of it.
Unfortunately, I forgot the Blu-ray, and we were going to watch it together on Saturday. Yeah. But there was some wackiness.
Some crazy events went on.
Some crazy events. I forgot to bring the Blu-ray.
Basically, we did nothing for 7 hours. Yeah.
So we were wacky for a little bit, and we forgot to watch the movie. Fortunately, I've seen it enough times where it doesn't matter. But Dylan, you watched it yesterday?
But yeah, so I watched it last night. And like I said, I really liked the tone. It was really funny. I don't know what else. And one thing I did want to say, too, is they do a really good job of like endearing you to the kids in the beginning. Because you only spend a very short amount of time with them prior to them actually being put in the Battle Royale scenario. They do have
basically just that bus scene and some flashbacks.
And well, I was gonna say even before, because I was gonna say they intersperse some flashbacks that are relevant. Yeah. Throughout the movie, but I mean before like, because like there's basically a classroom scene maybe, or some school stuff.
Yeah, where you see Nobu like slice the teacher with the knife.
Was that Nobu?
Yeah,
Oh.
That's why he's pissed at him when he sees him first time, because he hadn't been going to school. Then he comes back for the class trip.
Oh.
He chose the work day to come back, but yeah.
Yes, he did.
And that's why the teacher Kitano, he's pissed off at him.
So the teacher that they show. Well, we should talk about this in a more constructive way first, because I don't want to jump all around, and someone who hasn't seen it doesn't care. But I was gonna say.
Well, you know what? We're spoiling it anyway, so doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but continue.
We're not doing no non-spoiler bullshit like that. But the teacher that dies, that was their teacher.
Oh, you're talking about at the beginning of the movie? Yeah, that's their new teacher.
That's their new teacher.
Because Kitano left after he got
And the teacher
sliced.
that got his leg sliced is the one that's like there, like killing them and shit.
Yeah, he's the one running the game.
Running the game. Yeah. And I was gonna say, I think
that was her original teacher, and then he left after the incident with Nobu.
Right. But I think this is a relevant.
Played by B. Kitano, who is amazing.
Well, I
just wanted to say that.
I can't wait for him to play an MCU character.
Yeah, it'll probably happen eventually. I mean, he was in Ghost in the Shell, so.
Dude, he's gonna be Stick.
maybe. Yo, that'd be badass.
That's a pretty decent guess.
That'd be badass.
Please, let's not talk about them. we chose like we decided to do a episode like this so we could not talk about some fucking bullshit for once, even though it's only been 3 episodes. Anyways,
Nicktoons wasn't bullshit.
You know what I mean? Some pop culture nonsense. There's at least like something different. But I wanted to compare it to the Hunger Games, because I think in the Hunger Games, and I haven't seen the Hunger Games. How many times can I say the Hunger Games? Probably 18.
Before we get sued?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
You haven't seen the Hunger Games? I thought you had.
No, I'm sorry. I keep cutting myself.
I've never seen the Hunger Games.
I keep cutting myself off. I apologize.
When it came out, I was like, I don't want to see this because I like Battle Royale.
Because I know the real one.
Yeah, literally, I was on that shit. I would have watched it back then, but I was like, fuck this shit.
Coke, no Pepsi.
Yeah,
shit.
pretty much.
But no, I was gonna say I haven't seen it in a very long time. Like shortly after it came out, probably.
Yeah.
But I do remember quite a bit about the Hunger Games because I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't like the Hunger Games, and it was the way I was.
Did you see all of them or just the first one?
Maybe the first 2.
Okay.
Maybe just the first one.
I think the first one's the only one with like an actual like full out Hunger Games where the whole thing's like played up, right? So we only need to really talk about the first one.
I'm sorry, I have to bring up the MCU real quick.
This man, literally 1 minute after we said don't talk about the MCU.
Those movies are ugly like the MCU.
Yeah, they're kind of gray.
The Hunger Games movies?
I haven't seen them, but just based on my trailers
just
and stuff, they're like just gray.
And like faux bullshit.
Yeah.
It looks very ugly. The first one looks the best, I think. But I remember seeing the trailers for the other one, and it's like, oh, these look like the MCU in a bad way. But there's a lot of things I wanted to actually compare to the Hunger Games. Like, for example, I like in Battle Royale, this is like detention. Like, they like in the Hunger Games, it's so like over the top, and it's like
well, this is a very over the top movie.
Well, this is over the top in terms of what happens, but it's over the top in Hunger Games in terms of like they're broadcasting this to the world, and everyone watches it, even though everyone's devastated by it.
It's weird in Battle Royale. You don't really know if it's. I mean, it's not exactly being broadcast, but at the same time, it's kind of a television thing. Because you remember at the beginning of the movie, they showed the little girl. It's like all the news people are there to show the winner of the new one. So in a weird way, it's kind of a televised event.
It is, yeah. I think
you see the little girl who's smiling at the beginning of the first one.
I definitely think there's probably news coverage after, but I think maybe that was in a like landlocked urban environment, whereas this one was just on an island.
Oh, you're saying it's on like it was in a different place? I'm not sure.
The way because there was no news at the end of the movie.
Well, but they kind of jacked up the game, remember? Which we'll get to.
But why would the news still not come?
I don't know. So we don't really fully know what happened.
The point is like
I see what you mean because they were like, oh, there is a winner. They thought. Yeah. So I can see what you mean. And then they deserted the island.
Yeah.
So it's weird. We don't really get like the full details of how this game and
that's
this
one thing
really
I do like about Battle Royale more than the Hunger Games is the Hunger Games, even though the lore sucks, it really wants you to be interested in the lore, and the lore sucks. But in Battle Royale, it like leaves you wanting more, and you can talk about it and think about it.
There's a lot of stuff up for interpretation, I guess you could say.
I like the idea that that's one thing I liked about it, is I like the idea that this is like a punishment. Like, this is not like something to like oppress the lower classes. And both of them actually remind me a lot of The Purge.
I guess I can see what you mean. There's no law
the
there.
The concept is very similar.
Yeah.
Even though, of course, The Purge, there's no game aspect. But
it's just a crazy 24 hours or whatever.
It's like,
is it 24 hours in one night in The Purge?
In The Purge, it's one day.
It's okay, so 24 hours, okay.
But across all the movies, it's kind of like a huge, not huge, in The Purge it's huge, but it's an act, like a controlled act of violence to kind of oppress the lower classes.
Yeah.
In
this, it's just kids.
yeah, I guess that's true. But of course, rich kids don't go to public school.
Yeah, so we don't really know, like, I guess probably the rich people could find a way out of it.
I don't think private schools would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also I was thinking at the beginning of the movie, this isn't a huge thing, but I was like, well, okay, first of all,
it is implied that Shuya, the main character, he's obviously not from money or anything.
No,
his dad's all fucked up, and then he goes to a foster home after that. So yeah. So, and same with Nobu, and then a few other kids they come from really terrible backgrounds.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
Wait, that's one part too that made the movie like I was saying, it's very sad.
Yeah,
it's very funny and it's very sad, and dramatic also. But the sad part mostly comes from just knowing. Of course, this is not real life, but in real life, there are some people that kind of think this way. Not in terms of kids, like not killing kids, but there's a lot of people that are troubled that people just are like, like John Roca.
John Roca.
Yeah,
how he said like homeless people should be euthanized or whatever.
Yes,
oh my God.
people deserve the benefit of the doubt. They deserve help, not fucking like you're bad, fight to the death. Like
I know.
Of course, the movie's not saying anything.
John
like
Roca, you're stupid.
Yeah, fuck John Roca, fuck you. But yeah, it just made me that further made me empathize with the characters, and it gives the sense that like
like the world does not give a shit about them at all.
These are like they always pick on like the worst, like most downtrodden kids and shit like that.
And like they're just like, oh yeah, we just gave your parents a notification about it. Well, we don't really know like how the parents reacted to it, but it's like the fact that we don't see like any resistance from the parents at all, it's like
that is
you know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, we notified your parents that you're gonna be in this fucking game.
That you're basically confirmed to die.
Yeah.
Like you're confirmed.
What are the chances that you're gonna be the one who lives? Yeah.
That's one thing I was gonna say though, is it is a great movie, so this is something that I can definitely forgive, but it's just like something funny I thought of. A funny observation, if you will. I would never let my son go on a school trip.
Oh, yeah.
I would never do that.
No, seriously.
Because probably they're going to die.
Yeah.
So.
It's weird how, like, they don't know about it. That is kind of weird.
It does, and it's weird, too, that they start off the movie with, presumably... initially, I thought the girl in the beginning that's, like, just one, which was a cool image, by the way. I like that. Just like the bloody smiling girl on the car.
She comes back in the sequel, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Is she one of the people that like they opt back in?
No. Okay.
She comes back.
Yeah, she doesn't talk about it. I don't want to say too much because you gotta watch the sequel.
That's all I need to know. We'll talk about that one, I think. But that was a cool intro, and the impression I got from that was this is the one that just happened, and then here's an older one. That's the impression I got. But I guess now maybe I think that's
I think it's before. I'm pretty sure it's
one?
before. Like this is before what happens before the newest one. I think.
So do you think that one was like the newest one? The little girl?
Yeah, leading up to the movie.
Well, I guess you would know. You've seen the sequel, so they probably confirm it somehow.
Kind of.
You can probably guess on the timeline, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure. As far as the movie universe goes, the one in the movie is like the most recent one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is kind of confirmed in the sequel.
So Little Girl is an older one.
Yeah, I think that's the one right before this one.
Right, okay.
And I'm not sure, is it a yearly thing? I think, but I don't know.
That's another thing, too, is I don't remember reading anything about it being yearly in the little opening credits, kind of like the info stuff. But I remember thinking it would be interesting if a teacher had to request it. That's what maybe I thought.
So you're saying maybe Katana was like, yeah, these kids were acting up.
And I think maybe
the former teacher, he was like, these kids are acting up. Get them.
Because that would also make more sense to me why the kids wouldn't be expecting this to happen at all.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's like, this doesn't happen very often, but it's like this law that's been
But they don't
there.
even know about the law. Like, they don't even know it's a thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe the law is just like some buried thing that only very desperate teachers or whatever, like...
The reason I don't think that is because all the news people were there to cover that last one. But maybe that's kind of like what it's trying to go for, is that like these students just don't pay attention to what's going on at all because they don't give a fuck about school or anything. Yeah. That could be kind of what's going on there.
Yeah.
If I had to guess why they don't know, I would say that's probably why.
Okay. My first thought is that maybe it just doesn't happen very often, but either way, it's...
We know it definitely happened before because the events in the movie.
Yeah.
We know this. Well, it happened at least a few times before this one.
Yeah, we meet a character that's confirmed to... Or two characters, or one?
One in this one.
Okay.
Kiriyama, no, he was just a dude who signed up to play the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was just a psychopath.
Yeah, he's cool. Oh, man. I love all the characters.
It's funny, Joey, that's my brother, for you RNS listeners who don't know. He said that Kiriyama looks like a Japanese Heath Ledger. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, at the end, too, he has the eye makeup dripping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or I don't know.
But he has the blood coming out of his eyes.
I don't know if it's blood or, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, he was like Japanese Heath Ledger. And I thought
plus his hair, too, and everything.
I thought it was kind of funny.
And I really, what should we get into next, Evan? Should we just continue along the story?
Yeah.
So I guess, they get on the island. They get in a little room.
Well, yeah. They get on the island.
They go in their little room.
They wake up, and they find out what's going on.
Yeah, they're all slowly waking up, and then their former teacher, as we mentioned, he wakes them up. He basically plays an instructional video for them, and while it's happening, one of them talks too much, and he throws a razor blade in her head.
Throws a knife in her forehead. And that's when they all kind of realize, oh shit, this is actually happening.
This ain't fake.
Yeah.
They do a pretty good job of making it feel... This is a more broad kind of observation, not about this scene, but they do a good job of making it feel paced out to where it feels like 3 days.
Oh, throughout the whole movie?
They do a good job keeping you up to date and
Yeah, with the updates and who died and all that. Yeah, I agree.
And they also do a good job of there are very different types of deaths. There are tragic deaths, romantic deaths, funny deaths, kind of scary deaths. It's pretty well balanced in terms of different shit. They do a good job of some scenes wipe out one character, some scenes wipe out 5.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was a good start with this one, I think, just to get them thinking oh shit, this is real.
Yeah, and then of course they have to show you the Suicide Squad caller.
Yeah,
and they turn it on one kid,
which is Nobu, who is Shuya's best friend, and you get that iconic scene where he's like,
Nobu!
Yeah, Shuya, Nobu. That scene's a bit of a meme.
There's a few scenes in the movie that it didn't really almost make me cry, but I could feel myself welling up. And then
I cry all the time watching this shit.
The Nobu thing almost made me cry.
Yeah, and the flashback with him, I'm not sure if it's immediately there or after.
It's quite a bit later, I think, with him playing guitar.
Well, no, there is that one, but there's the one in I think this is when he goes to sleep later, Shuya, where he sees him telling him to protect Noriko.
Oh.
With the basketball where it lands in his hand. I think that's when he wakes up the next morning. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The basketball.
Yeah. It's he's in the gym, Shuya, sitting down, and you see the basketball bouncing, and it goes to Nobu's hand.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well. It might be in the director's cut only. The director's cut is the version I usually watch of it.
Oh, okay.
So that might be a director's cut.
That might be it.
I can lend it to you.
Because I'm telling you, man, too, I was really engaged. I was, and I remember Terry, my beautiful Aunt Terry.
Beautiful Aunt Terry.
She was like, Dylan, go get me my smokes from the gas station. And I was like, Terry, I'm busy.
Terry's a nice lady. You should have got it. For you RNS listeners who don't know, Terry is awesome.
Terry's dope. She's my rock. But yeah, she asked me to go get cigarettes, and I was like, I don't want to say I was mad. I was upset that I had to leave the movie because I was really into it. I was about halfway through, and I was really into it. Well,
you needed a smoke break too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I might as well smoke a little mild, a little Black and Mild for you at home. Sponsor us, Black and Mild.
They should. We should have Black and Mild
That'd
sponsorship.
be the
That'd be
number one
dope.
sponsor I would go after.
For real.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, so he dies.
So the teacher kills 2 kids. The kids kind of realize this is fucking real.
The choreography in this scene is crazy. Just them all running around in the classroom. I always thought it was funny. And you see Shuya like rolling around, like because they try to stop him because he tried to attack Kitano after that shit.
Yeah,
and they're just like rolling around. I always thought the choreography in this scene was just like so crazy.
And it's pretty good too because this, of course, it doesn't seem like that high budget of a movie. I don't know if you know the budget off your head.
Off the top of my head, no, but it probably wasn't too high.
No, definitely. I don't think it was even $100 million.
Yeah.
Right.
No, probably not. No.
No.
Especially back then, 2000. I mean, that's not that long ago, but in like the last 20 years, the amount of money they spent on movies had changed a lot.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, and this was kind of, I don't know how big it was in Japan, but this is kind of an art film.
Kind of.
At least, yeah. The director, Kinji Fukasaku, he kind of comes from that scene. Like, he was making Yakuza movies before that. Not that they're exactly art movies, but they're kind of, underground, lower budget things.
Yeah, they're more...
And that's where this director came from. Yeah, so, yeah.
More off the beaten path than most fucking Hollywood movies, right? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to tell you about the underground shit.
Yeah, even though we said we only talk about mainstream stuff. We lied.
That is in the bio? Well, fuck you. You got tricked.
Yeah.
You got tricked.
We lied.
Not unlike a Japanese girl on a school bus. You got tricked.
So, while this is all going on, they're being told the rules on that video.
And that's actually the first time I laughed out loud. I laughed out loud a few times in the movie. But the first time I laughed out loud was when the girl, kind of like a flight attendant type of vibe, comes out on an instructional video.
Can I say a fun fact real quick?
Please do.
The woman who does the instructional video actually voices Asuka in Evangelion.
Ah.
I like that. I'm a big Evangelion fan too, for those of you who don't know.
Maybe we'll come back to that.
Maybe we'll come back. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I wouldn't mind watching that for the pod.
For the pod? You should. Great show. I love it a lot.
But yeah, we get the instructional video. Nothing too crazy happens after that, but they introduce that they've added 2, air quotes, exchange students.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would even feel the need to lie to them about that, but it's just basically 2 people that they dragged in that are not in their class.
Yeah. Well, one of them apparently signed up, which is the psychotic one who does not say a single word in the entire movie. He doesn't say one word.
Oh, wow.
I think you might hear him. I don't even know if he laughs at all or anything.
He does laugh.
He does?
I'm 99% sure he laughs.
Okay, he might laugh in like one scene. Like laugh and grunt is all you might get out of him.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Kawada, who you find out. Yeah, he's actually my favorite character.
He's awesome.
I don't know, is he your favorite character in this movie?
I really like the you'll have to excuse me. I'm terrible with names, and them being Japanese names does not help.
Yeah. Which one? Just tell me which one.
But I like the main girl and the guy a lot.
Yeah, Shuya and Noriko.
But of course, I was gonna say earlier, like the main 3 characters are fucking great.
Yeah, I agree. He kind of becomes like a big brother for them.
Yeah,
which I like.
Yeah, so where were we? They're pretty much getting explained to what they're gonna do. They're gonna go out to the island and they're gonna kill each other.
Yeah, and then they each get a bag with a weapon.
They have some supplies and some food and water.
It looked like they only get like bread. That's what the food
I think
like.
They get like 3 water bottles and like some bread.
Yeah,
or maybe some like noodles.
I guess they got other stuff because some of the students were cooking and shit later.
I think they were able to find stuff in the houses.
Yeah, it looks like there's supplies around because after we find out later when they're trying to make well, I forgot the one student's name, like the smart one. Who had the 2 friends?
Who has the hacker?
Yeah. They are looking for the supply to like get the necklaces off of their neck, and but we'll get to that.
Yeah, so there's they get those little bags with their little junk in it, but there's also shit around the island.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when the instructor, the instructor lady in the video when she pulls out the axe.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
That was funny.
Oh shit!
So they get their bags. And then right away, Shuya, he waits for Noriko. They run away. And the little first battle we see is kind of funny. That one guy, he goes insane. No, it's
the first girl that dies gets shot with an arrow, right?
Yeah, And we see that one guy has gone insane.
Has gone insane? I wouldn't say that, but...
No. Was it the first person that dies by an arrow?
No, because
that guy comes out and tries to shoot the other dude. And he's like... Oh,
no,
yeah,
that's how they reveal it. Is like it's what's the main character's name? Nana something.
Nanahara Shuya.
They call him both of those names.
Like Nanahara is his last name. Shuya is his first. I think something like that. Japanese names work differently. So.
But yeah, Shuya. Let's call him Shuya. So I think when he first leaves, he sees a girl, and it's revealed that she's been shot by an arrow, and then he gets scared, and then the fat guy comes.
Yeah, and he drops it. And then the other guy comes in, he's like, hey, is this yours? It's like, it's kind of funny that he tries to give it back to him. It kind of shows, like, the reality of this hasn't fully settled in yet. And so he needs to be, like, courteous. He's like, oh, do you want this back?
They do a good job of that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they play on your expectations on that a little bit.
Yeah, and then he just runs at him, and he just shoots the arrow at him, and then he runs away.
Yeah, and then, doesn't the fat guy die immediately? Who kills the fat guy?
I think it's him. He shoots the arrow at him when he's trying to attack him.
Oh, because he's like, do you want this back? And
yeah.
he tries to attack him and he shoots him.
And he runs away. That was pretty funny.
And then he meets up with the girl, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
She meets up with this beautiful GF, right?
Yeah, and that's when she's like, oh, it's implied that she has a crush on him or whatever.
And she also says, like, oh, I don't trust anybody but you.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that moment where he's just like, I'll die trying to protect you.
Yeah. Because he's doing it for his friend, mostly. This was always kind of, like, it's kind of implied that he has a crush on her, but he doesn't like her as much as his friend did. But now he's kind of like, oh, well, he's dead, so I had to, be there for you in his place.
Yeah. I really like that.
And this dude, all the ladies like him.
Fucking
like all the multiple girls like Shuya.
It's a regular Archie comic. It's a regular soap opera.
Yeah, he's like
everyone's fucking.
Yeah, and he's not even like, it's not implied that he's like a fucking Chad or anything. He's kind of a normal dude, and just all the girls are just like fangirling over him, which is kind of crazy. But no, on top of that, like you said, everyone's just fucking.
Yeah.
They all want each other, just a giant love triangle. So that is a big thing I like about this movie a lot, though, because it's like. It is at the heart of it like a high school drama.
Yeah.
Just set in this crazy scenario, which I like a lot.
It did make me sad though that because of course going into it I wasn't expecting many people to survive.
No, it's kind of in the premise.
But I was like, maybe it'll be some Hunger Games shit where 2 survive or something. I don't know. I was actually expecting. We'll get into that later, I guess. But just I want to finish my thoughts since I brought it up.
Yeah.
But I expected maybe like just one of the main couples to die or something, or maybe something a little different. But yeah, we'll get into the ending later. But
so then after that, or during this, while this is all going on, we're kind of introduced to a few different characters. This one we get the Kiriyama introduction, where they like kind of gang up on him because you remember they all circle around him because they think like, oh, you're part of this.
Kiriyama's the Heath Ledger guy, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. They're like, oh, you must be part of this since you're working with them. And they try to, like, corner him and just push him around. They should have just killed him immediately.
Yes, they should have killed him immediately. But they bully him. But that kind of goes with, like, oh, they're still in high school in their brain. So, and also, real quick, let me go off real quick. Not go off.
No, go off. Go off, King.
Let me mention something. These kids are not in 7th grade. I'm going to pretend they're all in 10th grade. And, like, the main guru guy, what's his name?
Kawada,
the guy who
was already in the game.
He played the game before. I'm pretending he's in 12th grade.
He's in 12th grade.
Everyone else is in 10th grade.
All the actors are clearly already 18 years old.
I texted Evan while I was watching, and I was like, I don't know what 7th grade means in Japan, but this doesn't track. So that's something. It didn't quite bother me because I was just like, whenever they said 7th grade in my head, I was like, nope.
No, it's like I don't know how old 7th grade is in Japan, but I always think the same thing when I watch it. I'm like these aren't like this isn't American 7th grade, but I don't know. No. But you never know. Tobey Maguire was a senior in high school in Spider-Man 1, so you don't know what movie people are thinking.
Yeah, for these great films, we can look past it.
Yeah, precisely.
But it's just something I was thinking about during the movie. Especially for the first time.
Yeah, uh-huh. And Kiriyama, he's like, you look like you're in your 20s, bro.
Yes, for fact.
Well, anyways, they try to gang up on him, and then he just grabs the gun from one of them, just shoots all of them. And then that girl begs for her life afterwards, and he's just like, no, fuck you.
That is
except
one thing
in silence, because he doesn't say anything.
They did, like, literally bully him. And it goes back to, like, they do a good job in, like, the first act type of area. Where they all kind of... Most of them are pretty unsure about the survival scenario. Like, most of them are pretty unsure about it. I like that. It's pretty realistic, and that's also one thing that led me to thinking like maybe this doesn't happen every year. Maybe it's selective by teachers or something.
Yeah, he just takes them all out, takes all their shit, and he's already stacked up. He gets stacked up right from the beginning.
Because typically in this movie, that's one thing I really like about this movie. It's very easy to track people's supplies.
Yeah,
Because in the Hunger Games, it's like, well, whatever. Like she has a bow, she just uses a bow the whole time. But in this movie, it's like, oh, that's one thing that's crazy. I'll just mention that because I don't think we'll linger on it too far. But there reveals at one point that one of the more friendly characters has a GPS tracker that literally shows every person's location.
Yeah,
that was his.
I do like that character a lot, actually.
I mean, he's alright.
Yeah,
he's like him.
Well, he's like, I don't know, because he's like friends with the nerdy people, but he's also kind of like more popular. Like he seems just like a cool dude to me.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy, and he saved Shuya's ass later.
What is
from
it?
Kiriyama?
How?
Remember when Kiriyama's chasing them, and he's like Shuya and jumps on fucking Kiriyama when he jumps in the water. Shuya.
Is he the one that explodes the truck?
No. He's the one who just saves him later. But as we always say, we'll get to that. So yeah, we get the introduction. Everybody, Kiriyama takes all the weapons. Then we see also one couple students. It's implied that they're a couple. They commit suicide.
I like that.
That's sad. I'm gonna say, but I like that because I'm like, yeah, it's realistic. They're just like. She's like, I'm not playing this fucking game, and we're probably not going to live anyways, so let's just kill ourselves.
Let's not die brutally and watch each other die. Let's just kill ourselves.
That's what she said. And I like how the guy clearly doesn't want to do it. It's funny, but he's like, oh, well, you know what? You're making me kill myself, too. Because it's funny, she just pulls him down.
She does.
He's like, he looked like he didn't want to do it.
He resists. He pulls his arm up, but the weight of her, like, drags him down.
Yeah.
But I was expecting, when I saw that begin to happen, I was almost expecting him to just like let her go.
Like it's like Ike and the teacher in that episode of South Park. I'm sorry I had to bring that up. You know what I'm talking about? The episode of South Park where the teacher's in love with Ike, and at the end she's like, "Let's kill ourselves, Ike," and she just jumps off, and Ike doesn't kill herself. Ike doesn't kill himself.
I don't remember that.
Okay, well yeah, I was like, that's what I thought about, but he actually did die.
Yeah, I wasn't. That's one thing I really liked about this movie is I didn't really know what to expect. Because I know, of course, all I really know is it's like a Hunger Games thing, and it's your favorite movie. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this going to be like way more fucked up? Is this going to be like really like sad? Or
I'm assuming it is more fucked up than Hunger Games. I don't know how violent Hunger Games is, but I'm pretty sure it's PG-13.
I was expecting more headshots. Where were the headshots? There was like one headshot.
You can't be doing all that.
But there were quite a few times in this movie where I was like, shoot them, please.
Like what happened with Kiriyama, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
But you need the drama.
Exactly, you do.
Then we also get the introduction to. Let me look up her name real quick, because we get the introduction to.
Pretty Little Female. Oh, I know. I remember her name. Mitsuka.
Yes, yeah. It's Mitsuko. Yes, Mitsuko. We get her introduction, where she. Goes inside it's like a shack.
It's a really good intro.
Yeah, and she put the light on her face.
Yes.
And I'm like, that is a good intro because it just shows that she's like, you get the idea right, that she's evil.
Yeah. Because like immediately it telegraphs to the audience like, you should be worried about this scenario.
Yeah.
But the girl in there is like, she's kind of comfy. She found her little hut. A girl she knows is walking in. She's like, well, maybe this isn't really gonna be bad. Like maybe it'll be okay. And
they add some of that high school drama in there because she was like, you know, I was never friendly with your clique, but I think you're cool. Yeah. I thought that was funny. And then she just gets her weapon from her. Isn't that scene right where she gets the weapon? I don't know what you call it. It's like
no, she was like my weapon. She was like, I like my weapon. It's a sickle. I didn't know what to think about.
Okay, she has the sickle right away. Yes.
And then she
gets the taser.
She steals the taser from the kind of more awkward girl.
Yeah.
In the hut.
So yeah, she's like, let me see your weapon. And okay, see, like you said, some of these students just haven't accepted this as reality yet. And she's like, okay, I'll just hear. It's not so great. And she's like, oh, you know, one shot with someone with a bad heart, and they're gone. That's what she says there.
She was like, she was like, you've used one before, and then she's like, oh, I'm joking.
Yeah.
And then she kills.
And then she chases her down with it, grabs her, and then slices her neck and jacks a taser. So you get the idea right away that, okay, so this is one of the villains of the movie.
She's definitely on some Joker shit where she's like hugging her on the ground, like holding her neck.
Yeah.
She's like, this shit works pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can just hear like the blood flowing and shit. It's cool and it's...
Two really good villain introductions at the beginning of this movie.
Those are both really solid villains.
So we get to the next day, the morning after, and this is where they start adding kind of a gimmick of the movie where they read off the list, the names of everybody who died, and which is really cool. This is something the director has actually done before, where it reads the names of the characters who have died on screen. It was in Battle Without Honor or Humanity. That's one of his Yakuza movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he uses that same like technique in that movie, which I didn't know for a long time because I saw this movie way after I saw Battle Royale. And when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, he did that in Battle Royale. But anyways, yeah, so you have Kitano reading off the names after so often. And the list, the area, like the coordinates that they can't go to.
Right.
They're bringing the students closer and closer together as the days go on.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, so like, you bring them all closer together. So it's
like Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can talk about that now, or do you want to bring that up later? The whole Battle Royale craze that came
I'm just
over 10 years later.
I'm just bringing that up because I did not realize that must be what the Battle Royale genre is named after, is this shit.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah. Because I used to play Minecraft Hunger Games. Fuck that. Fortnite Battle Royale. That's what we like to see. I thought the quadrants were random.
No, well, it's like, I think it starts from the outer portions of the island and should bring them closer and closer.
And it kind of randomly gets closer and closer you in.
I guess we should just say now, if they say like, oh, if there isn't a winner at the end of the 3 days, the necklaces on everybody blow up.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen the movie or don't know.
Yeah, so basically if you and they have
so you have to kill each other. And yeah, they're bringing closer to raise up the stakes, basically.
Okay. Because I feel like that was one thing I was going to say that they didn't need. But I guess it makes more sense the way you explain it. But for some reason, I didn't catch that in the movie. I thought it was just...
That's what I just always... They don't really say it, but I was like... I figure that's kind of the idea of it.
You'd think I would assume that based on, like, I play the Battle... I played Fortnite and Warzone and, like, fucking the... Like, Minecraft Hunger Games minigame. So you'd think I would, like, kind of just associate it. But
yeah.
I just thought, like... Oh, no, these little square miles, you can't go there for a little bit. I thought that's what it was.
No, they close it off for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So they all had to move in closer and closer to each other. Yeah. And so after this is where we get kind of Shuya's first real encounter with another person.
Yes.
Which comes up again later in the movie. It kind of plays a role. So that guy with the axe attacks Shuya, and Shuya has a pot lid for a weapon.
Oh, we should, real quick, we should talk about that because I like the fact that, of course, well, can we just spoil the ending?
Yeah, go for it. We're going to spoil it anyways.
I don't think it matters.
If you're not listening, spoiler warning, just mute it for like 20 seconds.
To be honest, man, just watch the movie first, and
then listen to
will be a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's really cute to me that, of course, like our two basically main protagonists get the shittiest possible weapons.
The binoculars and the potlet.
As far as we find out from all the weapons we see, those are the worst weapons.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it was just very endearing to me when he just pulls out the pot lid
and
the guy's hitting him with the axe.
Yeah, he does use it when he's hitting with the axe, right? He uses it as like a shield.
To defend
yeah,
himself.
And then they roll on the ground together, and then the axe ends up in the one guy's head. And we see there's a girl watching, which comes up later.
Yes.
The axe ends up in his head, and this scene is kind of funny because the guy's like, "Oh, it's all good, man." After the axe, he's like, and then he just passes out and dies. And that's crazy. And then Shuya freaks out because he's like, "Oh shit! Tell me, did I just kill that guy?"
He's like, "You saw what happened? What did I do?" Like, yeah, he was very mournful about it. He didn't want to do it.
I don't think he should feel bad about this because that dude just straight up attacked him.
The way it plays out, the way it's filmed,
and he didn't even like intentionally try to kill him. They just rolled down, and the axe ended up in the dude's head.
And even I do like too how Shuya can maintain some type of innocence, I guess, throughout the movie, and even like at the end of the movie, he maintains that kind of innocence where at the end he kind of says the same thing where he's like, if I ever have to do it, I'll still carefully consider it. Like,
he doesn't want to kill.
He still doesn't want to kill throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Which I respect that, and I'm kind of sick of the whole...
I do like the one moment though at the end of the movie where he does do it, like what goes through his head.
Yeah, the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. To it.
But I was going to say, I'm kind of sick of the story trope of, like, I'm a killer, now I'm tainted. Like, I'm pretty sick of that.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him, like, well, sometimes you got to kill someone.
Yeah.
But I'll never do it hastily. I'll never do it without thinking. I like that. But anyways, so yeah, they roll around on the hill. Someone accidentally dies, whether it was him or not.
We don't really know exactly.
That's what
I kind of like
is
too.
Like the way they film it. you don't know.
It's crazy,
and it's kind of like the girl. What's the girl's name?
Noriko.
It's pretty much like you're seeing her perspective.
Yeah,
where it's like
she doesn't know either.
Like,
it just kind of happened.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then this is where we get Kawada's introduction. He just shows up like a badass.
Yeah.
Because the nerdy student shows up. He's just saying math equations. Like, he's clearly gone insane. You know what I'm talking about? He has the gun. And he's trying to shoot it. And the student's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Just stop. And then Kawada shows up with the shotgun, shoots him, takes the gun. And this is where we get, like I said, all the introductions are really great. And we get the idea right away that he's kind of a good guy. Because he just shoots the dude who's clearly gone insane. Then he just asks him what weapons do they have, binoculars and potlit. He's like, okay, you're good to go. I'm not gonna kill you. He's not like he's not like Kiriyama, who just brutally murdered all these people.
Yeah, the fucking first chance he gets, he's gonna kill as many people as possible.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, you don't have any good supplies. Okay, whatever. And then we see two girls on a hill trying to make peace.
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course.
I guess their weapon was
Their weapon was Well, that one might be worse than the pot lid.
Yeah, what do you call it?
Megaphone.
Yeah, the megaphone. And she's like, oh, everybody get together, let's make peace. And then Shuya yells, and then Kawada's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're gonna, like, bring attention to us.
And it's crazy, too, because it makes the whole, there's a guy in here that's just a hitman, like, lunatic.
Yeah.
It makes that make sense because there's a pretty decent chance that would have worked. So, just for the sheer fact of course, there's still characters that haven't fully accepted their scenario here.
I think this is the last example of this.
It's the very last thing because it's a very public example of, like, if you don't play the game, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, okay.
But, well, I was just gonna say that because of the fact that there's, like, the hacker kids later, and of course, like, I'm sorry, what's his name? The cool guy that's, like, a senior. Kawada.
Yeah.
So Kawada's there. He knows the ins and outs of some shit.
Yeah.
And there's the hacker kids that learn some shit. Easily, like, with a small group, including, like, the main three characters, plus, like, the hacker kids, plus probably a few other kids would join them.
Yeah.
They could, like, kill anyone who doesn't try and make peace and then leave.
Yeah.
Like, they could have maybe won.
Which almost happens. Kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah.
They try.
Yeah.
And it's very cool, too, because once that comes about, it's like, of course, I'm not smart enough to do that if I was in a Battle Royale scenario.
It is a bit crazy because you're like, some of it's a bit unrealistic because, like, oh, of course you have the genius kid. Well, I don't know. Should I talk about it now? I'll hold it. But some of it's a bit unrealistic.
But some of the ideas just, like, connect in your head and you want to just talk about it. So, sorry about that, but you get the idea. Anyways, these girls want to make peace. So
yeah, and then Shuya yells, and that's when Quada's like, no, don't do that. You're going to bring attention to us. And then the girl hears...
They hear that it's him and they get excited.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, the girl next to me's always had a crush on you, which is funny. And then she's like... And then you hear her be like, no, stop. And then that's when Kiriyama shows up and just murders them.
He busts their backs out. He fucking keeps repeatedly shooting them. He puts the megaphone to their head.
That was crazy.
Screaming in pain into the microphone.
That was insane. That's why I'm like, this dude is a fucking psychopath. Awesome. This dude's a psychopath. But and you just hear her yell in pain. Well, not even yell. She's like, like cry in pain.
Yeah, she's not screaming. She's crying.
Yeah.
But that kind of sets the stage for the rest of the movie. Where it's like, if you don't play the game, you're dying.
Yeah. So they freak out. And then they dip from that. Yeah. No, I think Quada's like... No, they meet Quada again later by accident. Mm-hmm. He runs away here, and then they meet him by accident later on.
Do they meet him... They meet him when they're looking for the medical...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so next, that's when we get the introduction to Mamura, who's like the main hacker guy. One of the kids who's on the basketball team. And that's when they find that like hideout. And I think this is when they start like coming up with a plan for what they might try and do.
Yeah.
He's like pulls out the computer.
He busts out his laptop. He's like, oh, it still works.
Yeah,
right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think this is when they start trying to come up with a plan for them to all get out of here.
Yeah.
And I think it's also implied here that he is Shuya's friend.
Yeah.
Because they were on the basketball team together, and he's like, oh, we have to find Shuya.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not sure, is this when he tells them to get the supplies, or is it not that soon? It might be a bit later.
It might be later. I'm not sure.
But either way,
This scene completely escaped my mind, so...
Yeah, we can just... I guess we can just kind of talk about their story altogether now. It's just kind of... I guess it's implied that they're nerdier. Mimura's kind of popular, I guess, because he was on the basketball team. But they're basically trying to hack the system that they're using for this.
There's one thing, too, that I wanted to mention, and this is a bit of backtracking, I guess, but it's pretty weird that just this fucking teacher in a tracksuit is just in charge of all these soldiers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he's giving them orders.
Yeah.
Which I always thought that was kind of funny, too.
It's funny, but it's like...
He's giving authority.
It's definitely not something where I'm like, this is a plot hole.
No, I don't think it's bad. I think it's done, like, intentionally. It's kind of funny, yeah.
It's funny, but it's just like... I guess it's kind of even true to life, because they're all government employees, after all, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, we get the introduction...
and I like how he's mean to them, too.
Oh, he just berates all of them.
Well, like, he one of the soldiers at one point, like, he tries to sit down and talk to him about some shit, and then he, like, reaches for one of the cookies.
Oh, the cookies? I know.
That's one thing that gets set up, too, that's, like, throughout the movie, is, like, on the bus trip to the Battle Royale thing, they were, like...
Noriko gives Shuya the cookies.
Yeah, they're, like, eating the cookies, and then, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, the cookie is a cookie.
And then, yeah. And then, this dude has a strange connection to Noriko.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we'll get to. But yeah, so Mimura, they want to hack the system and bring it down, basically. I guess he was inspired by, it was his grandfather, right? Yeah. He talks about how his grandfather wanted to blow up Parliament. Do you remember how
I do.
He said his grandfather wanted to blow up Parliament or whatever, and he's been all over the world. So it kind of implied that he's like this guerrilla radical.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. So that was kind of funny. I guess he's inspired by that.
I guess it kind of makes even more sense that he would be able to do that shit, because it's like, he's kind of... Even... He was taught by a very aggressive person.
Yeah.
Presumably, so... Yeah, that even kind of makes a little more sense. But I like that character, too.
Yeah, me too. I think during all this is when, personally, my favorite... Well, not my favorite scene. Definitely one of my favorite scenes in the movie happens. Because this whole section is like a movie of its own. And it's the part with Chigusa. Which is... Have you seen Kill Bill?
Nah.
Okay, in Kill Bill Part 1, she played Go-Go. Tarantino is a big fan of Battle Royale, which is why he
cast her. Okay.
Yeah, he cast her in Battle Royale.
Nice.
Go-Go's the girl with the I don't know what you call it.
The nunchuck.
No, not the nunchucks. Like the spike ball, you swing it.
Mace.
I guess, yeah. So it's the girl in the yellow tracksuit.
Right. Okay, I know what you mean.
This whole section, I love it. So it's like perfect to me. It feels like almost a movie on its own. Okay, yeah.
Is she the?
No, this happens later. Okay, this does happen later.
Let's just talk about whatever. Look, like, we don't need to go.
You know what, RNS listeners? We're just gonna do whatever we want. But it's easier if we just go.
Well, let me say. Are you talking about? Does she wear a yellow tracksuit in this movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Kill Bill.
No, not in Kill Bill. She wears a schoolgirl outfit in Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah, the yellow tracksuit girl. That's a really good story.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is a reason I remembered this actually does happen later. Okay, the reason I remember this happens later. Somewhere in the midst of the craziness that's going on, Noriko got hurt.
I don't remember how she gets hurt. But
yeah, I think she gets, like, scratched or a shot in her leg or something. And this when Shuya takes her to the clinic that's on the map. Which is weird. I was like, there's a clinic? It's just there. I'm like, is this a trap? It's kind of weird.
When I heard that, I was like...
Would you trust this? They're supposed to die.
Yeah, it's because it's like... You would almost think that if they work together, that's almost already, like... It's not against the rules, but it's like if they're working together... In any type of way, it's like, well, obviously that's going to cause conflict later. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if they even... I don't know.
So you don't know if it's a trap or not. But they go there, and obviously this is not a functional clinic.
It's the clinic from when the island used to be like a populated island.
That's what I'm assuming.
That's one thing we didn't mention, too, is the island is formerly like a populated island.
Yeah, because they said it was evacuated before the game. Yeah. So they go there. And I'm guessing, this map must be an old map then, or something like that, because it just said clinic. And they just blindly trust it. They're like, okay, let's just go to the clinic. Or maybe they're thinking maybe we'll find supplies or something there. That might be worse. Yeah. So they go there. There's a trap, like the wire. It's not really a trap, but it rings the door.
It's a wire. It's a tripwire that rings a bell.
Yeah, and then Quada comes out, and then he sees its binoculars and pot lid. That's what he calls them.
That's cute as fuck.
Yeah.
I like that moment a lot.
And then he lets him in, so because they've already I wouldn't say at this point yet they've established a friendship, but he's like, okay, I know you guys aren't a threat at all because you were being stupid before, and so I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. So he lets him in, and he starts helping her out and he gives her the painkillers, even though they're expired. He's like, they're probably working. So yeah, he starts helping them out, and he cooks. And she was like, what the hell? How can you do all this shit? And he's like, oh, my dad... At first he says, oh, my dad was a doctor. That's how I kind of know a little bit about medical stuff. And then he cooks, and he's like, oh, my dad was a chef.
Oh,
so, yeah. So we don't really know, like, what is going on with his dad, but yeah.
Maybe his dad was a Renaissance man.
Somehow he's really, like... He got a lot of skills. I'm assuming...
They might be lampshading a little bit in terms of, like, you know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's kind of like, we need this character to be...
Like,
pretty much
he can do everything?
Pretty much the best character on the map.
Which he is.
But they're kind of lampshading it in the way of... Typically, a character like that, you'd have one, like, oh, my dad's a doctor. But this dude says his dad's...
Yeah, a doctor, a chef.
His dad's a pilot,
and then later
he
says, yeah.
Yeah, so... It's kind of just lampshading, like, oh yeah, my dad taught me everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of...
I'm guessing you can kind of play around in your head and think maybe, like, either... like, he picked up maybe some skills during his first game, and then afterwards... We don't know how he was living his life after this first game. So maybe he's, like...
Yeah, and I think...
Picked up some survival skills or something after the Battle Royale he survived.
And the way I mean, like, lampshading, too, is just, like... It's like, you don't need to really know much about the character's backstory. All you need to know is about, like, the girl later... Or actually in this scene.
Yeah, we find out in this scene.
All you really need to know is that. Other than that, all you need to know is this dude is skilled. So, so he's just kind of like, my dad taught me.
It's funny.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
So, yeah, he says my dad was a doctor. He said my dad was a chef. He's cooking for them. And then they start kind of talking a little bit, small talking. And then that's when Kawada tells them, he's like, oh, his literal words is, I'm a survivor of this fucking game. And when he takes off the bandana on his head, he has like a big scar on his head. And then, yeah, he shows them a picture of him and his girlfriend, who was in the game with him.
Right.
They were the last two survivors of the game he played. I guess, like, right in their last moment, because you see both their necklaces are about to blow up. Because I'm guessing the time's running out, so they had to kill each other. She shoots him. He rolls down, and then he fucking shoots her. She dies. He lives. And he kind of... But she smiles before he dies. And he's like... Basically, this whole time, I've been trying to figure out, like, what she meant with that last smile she gave me before she died. And he does say, basically, that he really loved her. And I guess he kind of understood why she shot him in that last moment.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I don't know. What do you have to say about it?
The way I interpreted it, and they kind of do...
They talk about it later at the end of the movie, yeah.
But they don't really kind of...
We don't get, like, a definitive answer, but...
I think all it was is that she loved him, and she knew that one of them or both of them had to die, and she's just glad that at least one of them lived.
Oh, with her smile or whatever?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they say at the end of the movie, kind of, anyways.
I think that's all it was.
Yeah. So, he basically says, oh, I've been trying to find out what her last smile meant. And then Noriko's like, oh, I didn't know her, but I think she really loved you. And then it's kind of implied that she's talking about Shuya because,
Yeah.
And then some crazy shit happens. This is when we get a scene of Kiriyama.
Fucking Heath Ledger firebombs the...
Yeah, he chops off the dude at the bulletproof vest. He shoots the kid.
Wait, no, I have to talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
Let me do this part.
Okay.
I thought this part was really funny. So there's this kid riding a bike, and the Heath Ledger, kind of the evil foreign exchange student guy, what would you call him? Not his name.
He's a volunteer. That's when he's a volunteer.
So he volunteered to be in the battle.
Yeah.
So he's chasing down this kid on a bike, and he's busting him open with an Uzi. And the kid basically falls to the ground. He dies.
No, it's funny. He said, "Why are you doing this?"
Oh, he does say that.
He said, "Why are you doing this?"
That reminds me, too, it was in the movie. It's like, it's disturbing how often that happens.
Oh, like, they say, "Why are you doing this?"
Like, it's like, they do a good job characterizing these kids as, like, it's pretty realistic. Even though it's very silly, the action can be over the top. But the characterization of everyone is, like, pretty realistic, where if you were in this situation, even if you're going to die and you know exactly where you are and what you're doing, you're still going to feel like, why would this be happening to me?
Yeah,
why are you doing this? Like,
I like that, too. I like that a lot.
It
kind of adds to the fear. I've seen some people say that this movie is... It's like... They say either, like, science fiction or horror or drama. It does have a little bit of everything in it.
I would categorize it as a drama.
I've seen people call it a horror before, though.
Personally, what I would call it is a drama, then a comedy, and then a thriller.
A comedy.
in that order: drama, comedy, thriller.
I would have comedy last personally, but it does have its funny moments.
I feel like I'm made more sad than like kind of suspenseful. It's more sad than suspenseful.
I will say this though, when it comes to like really, because just knowing me, I watch a lot of Japanese movies. As far as it comes to like J-horrors and like violent Japanese movies, they are known to like add a lot of comedy and stuff like that, especially like directors like Takashi Miike. They add like, they're known to like make light of really horrible situations. Like, if you ever, maybe we'll talk about this movie eventually because I know you want to see it. Ichi the Killer.
Yeah, I do.
It's really violent.
Is that his movie?
It's Takashi Miike. It's not the same director as his movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah. They add a lot of like comedy in really disturbing situations. So I think that is kind of a trope of like J-horror and things like that. Just to kind of add to what you're saying about the comedy. But anyways, so the kid gets shot up.
Oh, please let me continue.
Yeah.
So this was one of the... I laughed really hard at the, pretty hard for being alone in my room. But I laughed at...
You're laughing like a fucking maniac in your room at this horrendous scene.
Terry said, come out here. Let me look at you.
Let me look at you.
No, but the instructional video made me laugh because, of course, that scene is very
tense.
It's
funny. It's funny.
It's very tense, and then the way that like very cheerful video cuts the tension is very funny. And then the next time I laughed was this. He gets shot, he fakes being dead for a second, and then he's like, yes, my excellent bulletproof vest! And then like the guy comes back and
the way he rips his shirt open, dude, it's like some Superman shit. He rips over the end the bulletproof vest.
He was just so excited that it worked one time.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And then all of a sudden the camera goes up, and you just see Kiriyama there. He pulls out the sword and just comes out and decapitates
and then
this man.
He does a Smash Bros. Side B and he just cuts his head off. So that's pretty. It's that part. I think it pretty much encapsulates like the whole movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, of course, it's not in like a story way or anything, but like the vibe of the movie is like, because it's sad when he's kind of like, it's sad and funny when he's kind of like begging for his life almost. It's funny when he like reveals the thing.
Yeah.
It's like super like violent when he gets killed. I mean, I guess that scene's more funny than dramatic or anything, but that kind of... If I had to pitch the movie to someone, that's the kind of scene I would show them. Like, that's one of my favorite parts, actually. And then that's not even it. So, he cuts off his head. Everyone inside, kind of the mentor guy and the main two characters, whatever their Japanese names are. John, Mary, and Joseph are in there.
Shuya and Noriko, yeah.
They're all in there, and they're freaking out. They're trying to get cover. You see that poor bicycle character. His head is thrown through the window. It cascades through the window, and then he has a terrified expression.
This scene, can I say something about this really quick?
Sure.
This is really funny to me. Just to make an obscure reference to another stupid Japanese movie, there's a Japanese movie called Battlefield Baseball.
Sounds good.
It is actually a really good movie. You should watch it. There's this, like, they reuse the same footage like 3 times in this movie of like these decapitated heads on like baseball bats. Oh. And it's like really stupid. That sounds like horrifying, but it's like stupid puppet heads. Okay. And they reuse it the same like 3 times. It's just like this face with like a terrified expression on it. Yeah. Expression. And it reminded me of that. But anyways, so yeah, he throws in the head with the grenade on it.
In his mouth, and he's fucking terrified expression.
It blows up.
And he's this is when they get separated, right?
Yeah, because Shuya's like, oh, protector, I'm gonna be the hero here, and he attacks Kiriyama. He's shooting at him, then he jumps in the water, and that's when the guy with the tracker comes.
Right.
So actually, I may have been wrong. The scene with Chigusa might have been right before this, but we'll talk about it after, anyways. He uses the tracker, and he sees that there are some people nearby. By the way, that weapon is OP as fuck. Can I just say that? It can tell you where people are near you. How does that even work?
I was going to
it must be like connected to the necklaces or something.
I think it just gives him what they have like in the army base, basically.
Yeah, I'm like, that's OP as hell.
But I was going to say, if you were someone that like...
He's a good guy.
It's crazy that a good guy got that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's even like less realistic in this movie. Like, there's quite a few good guy characters.
Yeah, a lot of the ones who like go insane get killed off right away.
Yeah, they're kind of just fodder for other characters.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But Yeah, I was thinking while I was watching it, I was like, if I got that, it'd be over. I would win. There's not if a bad guy like me got it.
Dylan is confirmed to be a fucking insane lunatic in Battle Royale.
Honest, like I was saying earlier about of course, if you were in this scenario, you would love to be the fucking genius hacker kid that gets you all out of it somehow. But that is not real life. Real life is I get the GPS and I see where the last guy is. I wait until later. I see where the last guy is and I kill that guy.
Is that how you play Fortnite?
Well, you know what? Let me not talk about my Fortnite strategies yet. We'll get to that in another video.
Okay.
But
we don't want to spoil it. If someone plays with you, they might know your secret, so we shouldn't talk about it.
Evan, calm down. All right, let's keep talking.
So yeah, I think his name is Sugimura, that guy. But anyways, he saved Shuya's ass. He attacked Kiriyama. Then he goes in the water, saves Shuya, and brings him to the lighthouse.
Right.
I'm gonna hold on the lighthouse scene for a second. So now this guy Sugimura, he's looking for 2 different girls. And the first one he's looking for is Chigusa, the girl who wears the yellow jumpsuit.
Right.
She basically gets like a whole 10 minutes dedicated to her. And like I said, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie because it's just so greatly done. It starts out with her running. She's basically like, I guess she's still exercising while this is all going
That
on.
was actually something that threw me off too is there's a part of it in this movie, there's flashbacks. I'm about to compare it to Hunger Games.
Yeah.
In this movie, there's flashbacks strewn out throughout the main story. But in Hunger Games, I don't think there are. But in this movie, it's kind of cool that sometimes you can't tell. And then they give you kind of a mid-shot or a close-up. And
This was like a dream sequence, kind of.
Was it?
Yeah, when she's running, and then she sees Sugimura, the guy who's looking for her, who saved Shuya, on the bike next to her when she's running. And that great, let me just throw this, talk about while I talk about this scene. I love the score of this movie. Like, just the classical music. It's, so good to me. In my opinion. I don't know if you paid much attention to it.
I didn't.
Okay.
I know you and our mutual friend, Andy. Hopefully you made it this far, Andy. But,
Andy, I hope you watch it despite not having seen Battle Royale.
Dude, watch Battle Royale.
And then watch this podcast.
But I was going to say, I know you and Andy.
We're bigger on scores.
You guys are huge on scores. Like, if it's a Danny Elfman score, I'm all about it. But I'm not huge on scores. And I think some people say this is, if you don't notice the score is doing its job, in a sense, of course you want it to, enhance the scene.
Yeah.
Which I definitely think it did here, but it's not something that I was like, let me look it up on YouTube and listen to it solo.
I love the score of the movie. But anyways, the piece that's playing here while she's running during the dream sequence is just so good to me. But anyways, then she's running and he's talking to her, and then you kind of realize she was kind of imagining that he was there. He wasn't actually there. Then she runs up to the stairs and sits down. Then we get back to the dude from the beginning of the movie who gets the arrows. Apparently this dude got a crush on Chigusa.
Right.
He comes up and he's basically like, oh, you know what? We're all going to die. Why don't you just fuck me? This guy, he's kind of an incel, it appears.
Definitely, I would
say. And he was spreading rumors, apparently, saying that that him and her had something going on. And she's just like, no, you're a fucking disgusting pig. And then he's like, oh, you know what? If you don't have sex with me, I'm going to kill you. So just do it. And then he shoots the arrow, and it scratches her face.
Yeah, it just grazes her.
Yeah. And, I love this shot where she, touches the blood on her face, and then pulls out the fucking knife and chases him down. But that shot of her face, it's just, great. She's just, a total movie star to me, in my opinion. I'm like, yeah, she's awesome. I love her. Great scene.
How long was the gap between this and Kill Bill?
Not too long. I think Kill Bill came out, 2003 or something like that. So probably not too long. But I know for a fact that he cast her because of this movie, because Tarantino loves this movie.
In Kill Bill. Am I thinking of the wrong character?
I think you're thinking about
the mom.
No, you're thinking about Lucy Liu's character.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Go-Go.
Again, I haven't seen it. Please don't accuse me of anything.
Anyways, but Go-Go works for Lucy Liu's character in the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, Uma Thurman's character, the bride, fights her earlier in the movie before she fights Lucy Liu.
She's like a goon.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. But I like that scene a lot too. It's definitely one of the standout moments in the movie. Yeah.
So she chases him down, she stabs the dude in the nuts and kills him.
Does he stab him in the nuts?
Yeah, she does.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. which is fitting.
I know she went sicko mode on him.
Yeah, she pulled out that knife and just like he didn't even try to fight back. He was just like terrified. Yeah. Even though he had the arrow, he could have.
And I like the line too. Of course, I don't know. That's the problem with quoting the movie too. Is I just know what I read. Like, yeah. I wonder kind of what a more accurate translation was. But real quick.
Yeah,
sorry, it's a bit of a tangent. But when I started watching the dub, I was like,
oh, you actually started the dub?
I did. I got about 5 or 10 minutes in, and I was like, maybe I can just tolerate the dub. You know, it's on HD, it's on Amazon Prime. I'll watch a few ads, and it'll be good. And then I got to the bus part, which is of course very early on. But I got to the bus part, and then they're talking about. She's like, oh yeah, you can have some cookies if you want, and then he's like, oh really radical.
He said radical. Oh yeah, like that's when you knew this was bad.
That's when I texted you and I was like, they only have the dub.
I didn't know you had already started watching it when you said that. My God, that's when you're like, I can't do this.
That did confirm for me, or I was like, no, I'm gonna just listen to
that's funny.
Original actors and just read it. But what were we talking about? So so one of the quotes I really liked. What does she say? She says.
Every inch of my body will resist you. I thought that was funny.
That's
she does
funny.
Say that, yeah.
Well, of course, the dialogue is really good in the movie in general.
Yeah.
But there's another really good. Like we said though, this is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Basically, she says, "Put the crossbow down, so I know you're not a threat, or I'll beat your ass."
Oh yeah. She's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. She's basically like. I'm gonna assume that you're trying to kill me if you don't put that down.
Yeah, if you don't put that down, I'm gonna assume you're deadly.
Yeah, yeah. That was badass.
I like that line a lot. Yeah. So that scene's really cool. I don't know this. What happens to her?
She stabs
she gets
the
jumped
nuts
immediately,
and then Mitsuko shows up, and she. What does she do? Does she shoot her? Yeah, she shoots her.
She does.
Yeah, and Chigusa runs away, and then this when we get her death scene. It's like I guess an hour or so later because we see the sun is starting to set. And she like goes down that like bridge. I think it's like a bridge, right? Something like that.
And the guy comes. Okay.
Yeah, this is when Mimura comes. Not Mimura. Mimura's the other character. Whatever the nice guy's name is. He comes.
The nice guy.
that one cool guy, who's looking for 2 girls, and she's one of them. He finds her, but it's too late. She's been shot up.
Oh no, she dies under the tree.
No. Yes, she dies on the bridge. Yes, she does, because I love this scene.
I'll bet you money.
She dies on the bridge.
I'll bet you money.
Under the tree?
She dies under the tree.
No, she dies on the bridge.
Yeah, she does, because doesn't she ask the guy, she says,
It's not under a tree.
Yes, it is.
Okay. He shows up. He finds her. It's too late. And she basically tells him that, yeah, I like you.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't like
you.
And then she's like,
she already knows. She knows he's in love with the other girl.
But I think what she says, too, is like, I like how they don't... I'm so sick of movies that just spell out shit and you can't even think about it because they just spelled it out for you. But I like the way that she's like, well, then just stay with me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you won't be too sad when I die, so just let me lay with you.
Yeah, that's really sad.
That's under the tree.
It's not under a tree. It's like on a bridge.
I think it's under the tree.
Okay, anyways. I thought you were going to say like something completely different happens.
Nah.
But anyways, we've definitely seen the same movie. Anyways, so yeah, she's like, just stay with me. She knows that he loves the other girl. And then I really like this part where she's like, you get the black screen with the text on it, and she's like, God, can I say one more thing?
Oh,
and
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? And then she's just like, you know what, you look really cool right now. And he's like, oh, you're the coolest girl in the world, even though I don't love you.
And then she dies.
And that's really sad. I think throughout all of this going on, I just want to get to this. I think we've seen Mitsuko kill a few more. We get this one part where it's implied. I think it's implied that she kind of tricked 3 dudes into thinking that she might have. Yeah, because they're naked and she killed all of them.
I didn't think about that till right now, but I did think about because there's one transition where it's like, oh, it's the next day. They're starting to do the announcements.
Yeah, and there's that.
They're showing.
I think that's right after this scene.
Yeah, because they show the main character.
Or after after that or after the clinic scene. It's somewhere in the midst.
No, because it's like you were like, oh, we'll get the lighthouse later. Because the main characters wake up.
It's before the lighthouse. Yes. Okay.
The main characters wake up in the lighthouse, and while the main guy, the teacher, is rattling off all the deaths, it kind of shows some of the main characters waking up. And then I was like, why the fuck did she sleep near the people she killed?
No, I think it's implied that like, oh, she either tricked them into thinking she was gonna have sex with them, or maybe she did, but I don't know. They're all naked, and she killed all of them.
Either way, she tricked them and fucking killed them.
Yeah.
But my point was, initially, I didn't think about that at all, but you're probably right. But I was like, because the way she's getting dressed, it's like, maybe she killed them while she was naked?
We don't really know. We don't know.
My first thought was she slept near the people she had killed that night. That's all I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's weird.
I do want to just say, though, we kind of talked about this, but I really do like how they don't really spell out everything for you.
Me too.
Yeah, they kind of leave things like,
that is really cool.
You
That's
don't
like
know.
I was saying, like with the dialogue with her under, like...
I always love that shit.
Her under the tree.
Okay,
dying.
whatever.
I really like you were saying, like, they don't spell it out for you, like, oh, like, well, you don't care if I die because you don't like me. Like, they leave it minimal just for the conversation, for what the characters would actually say to each other because they have the full context of their lives.
Yeah.
We don't, MCU. So, anyways, you want to go to Lighthouse, talk about the Lighthouse?
Yeah,
Lighthouse
this is another really, really great scene.
This one's good.
In my opinion. So, Shuya was taken to the lighthouse by that guy. So, the clinic scene was after Chigusa dies. He saves Shuya and he brings him to the lighthouse. And then it's the next morning, like we said, and Shuya's in the hospital. Not the hospital. What am I talking about? He's in the lighthouse bed, and they're kind of taking care of him. The girls that are there. And then we get the one girl who's kind of starting to lose it. The girl with the glasses.
Yes.
And she's like, "Oh, you know we're all gonna die tomorrow, right?" And they're like, "No." She's like, "No, Shuya, he's working on a way out." We forgot to mention that, but Kawada, he told them when they're at the clinic, I know a way out of this game, and I can take you two with me.
Yeah. So
Shuya told them, the girls, like, "Oh yeah, Kawada, he's played this game. He knows a way out. He's gonna get us out. Maybe you can come with us."
So I'm wondering. God damn it. I'm wondering. Now I'm wondering, what was his plan? Was he just gonna kill them?
It's really confusing, but we'll get to that. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So Shuya tells them, "Yeah, Kawada knows a way out, and I think he's a cool guy. We'll take everyone with us." Even though we don't really know if Kawada wants to take that many people, he just told Shuya and Noriko. We don't know how good he is. You know what I mean? He might not trust that many people.
Yeah, for all they know, he could just betray them all.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's like, oh, they're putting too much on me. Fuck these people.
That's what I'm saying. He might have only been just like, oh, you two are cool. I'll take you two with me. We don't know if he really wanted this huge group of people or not. But anyways, he tells him that. And then the girl goes over there and she's like, yeah, when she's talking to Shuya, then she tells him, "Oh, you killed that one guy with the axe, right?" And his girlfriend's there, but she's not mad at you. She knows it was an accident. No, she's totally pissed. Anyway, so we get the scene of the girl talking.
Well, more than pissed, I think she's like terrified, really.
Well, I'm saying she's pissed at Shuya, but I guess she's scared too.
I think she's mostly, and the way they frame it too is like,
yeah, because she comes out and she does like, "No, don't worry about him. He's a good guy."
When Shuya first wakes up too, they're like, well, I have to lock you in the top of the lighthouse because one of the girls are, I don't know if it's like, I guess it's basically just one girl is scared of him.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's the girl that saw it.
Yeah, who was the guy's, it was his girlfriend,
So initially, the main character, that was his girlfriend?
It's implied that they were something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the guy who died, his name was Hiroki, I think.
There's a whole lot
got
of
the axe on his head.
There's a whole lot of just liking people.
Yeah, there's liking, and you're not sure if it's liking relationships or what. But anyways, they were definitely a thing.
I just wanted to say, just for the context, because the scene is good, but it does need that setup where, so like we were saying in the beginning, Shuya rolls around, and they're kind of tussling, and he accidentally winds up the other guy with an axe in his head.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend or something, a girl that liked him saw it, and then later they wind up with this group of the main girl's like kind of girlfriends.
I guess were some of them in relationship with like the other people? I don't know.
Probably.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, all these girls are in there. And I know that one girl talking to Shuya, she has a crush on him too, because like we said, a bunch of girls have a crush on Shuya in this movie. Anyways, so they're all in there. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about Shuya." Then one of the girls is cooking, and then the girl with glasses, like I said, she said, "Oh, we're all gonna die tomorrow." She's starting to lose it. Then the girl who was the girlfriend of the guy with the axe in his head, she puts some poison on one of the plates of spaghetti or whatever noodles they're eating.
I was assuming like her weapon is probably the poison.
Yeah,
right?
She puts that in,
which is wacky.
It is wacky.
Like she was so lucky that she was able to use that.
Yeah, so she puts it in the spaghetti or whatever noodles they're eating. Looks like spaghetti to me.
They do say spaghetti.
Yeah, it looks like spaghetti, but you don't see no spaghetti sauce on that damn plate. They're eating that spaghetti.
Yeah, maybe they translated noodles to
That's
spaghetti.
what I was thinking, yeah. But anyways, she puts the poison on his plate. Another girl runs in and she's like, "Oh, this food looks so good," and just grabs his plate. And that poison is fast acting as hell. She takes one bite. She takes one bite of that plate, not the plate, the spaghetti. She takes one bite of the spaghetti, and then, like 5 seconds later, she just starts vomiting out blood everywhere and passes out. And they're all like, "Oh shit." And I think initially they blamed the girl who was cooking the food. They're like, "What the fuck did you put in there?"
They start blaming each other like, "You were cooking it."
Yeah. And he's like, "No." And she's like, "Girl with glasses, you haven't been sleeping the last 2 nights, and you're talking about us all dying tomorrow. What the hell are you on?" Nobody suspects the girl who actually did it at all. Because she's like, "Oh, shy and innocent," or whatever. They all turn on each other. The girl with glasses, she grabs a gun and starts shooting at them. Then I think 2 of them Okay, one of them died from that. The girl grabs a gun, starts shooting. One of them dies there, I think. And then the other 2 start shooting out. And they're all like, "Fuck you." They're just saying "fuck you" to each other.
Yeah.
And then they have a shootout. The girl with glasses gets on the table, shoots both of them. They shoot her. They're all about to die, basically. And it's really sad here, because that one girl's like, "We all could have fucking lived until tomorrow if it weren't for this shit right here."
Yeah, one girl definitely says like...
It was the girl who was talking to Shuya earlier.
Yeah, she was like, "I thought I would live till tomorrow."
Yeah, she was like, "We could have all lived until tomorrow if it weren't for this bullshit right here." And then the girl in glasses looks at the girl who did it, and she's like, "No, there's no way it was you, right?" Remember? She says like,
"Oh, yeah."
Yeah, she's like, "No way it was you, right?" And I think she just shakes her head. And they're all dead, and then this whole time Shuya is just hearing the gunshots. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And the door is locked. He can't get out. And then she comes up, the girl who poisoned the food, and she's like, "You know what, now that they're dead, I just realized I really like them all a lot." Which is really, like, tragic and sad. And then she just kills herself. I think she apologizing to Shuya.
Does she kill herself?
Yeah, she jumps off the lighthouse.
Oh, she does jump off.
She jumps off the lighthouse. And then this one, Shuya freaks out. Then after this, he leaves. Noriko... It starts raining, and Noriko's looking for Shuya. And then Mitsuko finds Noriko and is about to do some shit to her. Then she sees the teacher and just runs away.
The teacher walks out with a big clear umbrella.
Yeah, what do you think about this scene? This was always a bit weird to me that as soon as she sees her, she just gets scared and runs.
I think I mentioned this to you last night.
This is always weird to me. What do you think about this?
I think the reason, in terms of, I have a few things to say, I guess.
Because he doesn't hold a weapon to her or anything.
In terms
he
of
just
why
shows
Mitsuko is scared, I think is because she very quickly adapted to this, and then seeing like the guy who orchestrated it, she's like, "I'm not fucking with this at all."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's up with this at all. I'm out. Like, she's playing very safe, even though she's pretty aggressive. Like, she's playing everything to her favor. So I think when she sees like a new element, it's like, I didn't expect to see this. I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what the fuck this guy's gonna do? As for why the fuck he would go out there?
No, not that. I just wanted to know why you thought Miko ran away.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's like, well, this is the guy running the shit. I don't want to...
It was always weird to me because I was like, well, you would think that's what he wants, right? For them to
kill him.
Yeah. No, for her to kill another girl. So it's kind of weird she just runs away. I always thought that was strange. And obviously she doesn't know what we were about to talk about just now. Why? She has no idea that he has like a fondness for her.
Right.
What we're about to talk about. So what... You want to take this?
Personally, no, I read it a different way, where of course that's part of it.
Yeah.
Because they fucking double down on that later. But... And I thought maybe...
But there's no way she would know that he has a fondness for her. So, like, he wouldn't know that... She wouldn't know that he would be any type of mad about him killing her. I mean, about her killing Noriko. Girl, yeah. It's just... I always thought it was kind of weird that she just runs in that scene.
I think she just saw the guy... I think she just, like I said, she got used to the game very quickly. Yeah. And she just saw the guy running the game, and she was like...
Oh, yeah, she started playing it right away, as we saw her earlier.
Right, yeah, exactly. So I think she was just ready to... she just got...
Like you said, just not taking any chances.
Just new information came out, no risks. Yeah. I'm leaving the scenario. But as for the guy, I think he...
What did you think when you first saw that scene? What did you think? Yeah. With him giving her the umbrella.
Well, first of all...
Were you like, what the fuck?
When it revealed who it was, I expected it to be fucking the superhero guy.
Quad, yeah.
Yeah, of course. When I saw it was him, I mean, I didn't know what to think at first. But once I finished the movie, I was like, I think I think he went out there because, of course, like you were saying, he has a fondness for her. Where like we said, they that plays into it later. But I think his mindset was, you know what? I like this girl. I'm gonna go help her out, and I'm kind of just like inviting death.
On himself?
Yes.
Okay.
I think because this dude doesn't bring soldiers.
Yeah. He just shows up.
He doesn't wear a vest. He doesn't bring a gun. As far wait, does he? No. He doesn't bring a weapon, as far as we know. So I think he was like,
he went out of his way to try and protect her.
He was like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
And kind of, I guess, in a weird way, it's kind of implied that he's watching her, because he knew exactly where she was.
Well, he's watching everybody. But
well, yeah, I just mean like specifically
a special interest
on
her.
Yeah. But yeah, he shows up, gives her the umbrella. And then, I think, do they talk at all there? Or does he just give her the umbrella?
He says don't catch cold.
Yeah, and he's like... and then Shuya shows up, and he's like all fucked up.
Yeah,
he can barely walk. He shows up on the stick.
He's pretty much fucked for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and he shows up, and he's like, oh, he's protecting you, right? And he just leaves. He's like, oh, it's Shuya. He's protecting you. And you remember? Right. And then she covers him with the umbrella. And that's when he's like, you know what, I'm really fucked up, but I'm going to do whatever I can to protect you. And he has the Uzi at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he took it from
Is
one of
that the part where he's like, I'm useless? Or is that
Oh,
he's like, I'm useless, I brought weapons, but
yeah.
I'll still protect you like until we die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
Oh, what a sweet little scene.
I like that.
What a sweet little scene.
But it is very jarring.
This is where we're getting to, like, the end game, as you might put it. We're getting to the end now.
Holds up one finger. He holds up one finger.
Yeah, Shuya snaps and they all die. But you're saying what was jarring?
I was gonna say it's very jarring too, just to see like, of course the girl Mitsuko, she runs away. Mitsuko,
I think.
She gets terrified and runs away, and then they just pan over and you see this fucking old man.
It is kind of crazy. I like the way they do it because they don't. Like, in the shot of her running away, they don't show it at all. You just see she sees something and she reacts and she runs off.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's done really well. I agree.
Yeah. Because it's a very strange reveal.
Yeah.
It's cool. And I remember when they have the scene, I don't know when this happens at all, but the scene where his daughter's like, fuck you.
Oh, on the phone. Yeah, it's he talked to his daughter like 2 or 3 times.
Somewhere in here, he talks to his daughter and his daughter.
And I have some stuff to say about that, but I'm gonna save it for the end because I'm gonna bring that up with like what I think about like the general theme of this movie.
I did want to hear your thoughts on that. Okay,
yeah,
let's move on. Yeah.
For that reason, I'll save it. But yeah, he does talk to his daughter a few times, and she clearly just fucking hates him.
Yeah,
and I think they say like the mom is sick.
That's what I was.
Yeah. And she's like, where the fuck are you?
And he's like, I have to torture kids.
Yeah. Anyway, so Shuya came. They're back together. Kawada shows up, I think, or they go back with him. And now we're getting to the end where we kind of have the last few students left.
Yeah,
we have the hackers, Shuya, Kawada, and Noriko, Sugimura, one girl he's looking for, Kiriyama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I like that part.
Mitsuko. We can just go to that part.
Is that pretty much what happens next?
Yeah, we can just go to that part.
So the guy with the tracker, who's like Evan said, he's kind of the guy that's like he has a little bit of he dips his toe in every friend group.
Yeah,
he's kind of
pretty
a popular
much.
Guy. He goes to seek out the
girl he told Chigusa that he was in love with.
Yeah, the girl he wants to express his love for, and I love this part too.
Me too.
In a lot of this movie too, you could read it as desperation or like grief, or
because they kind of know they're dying. So
yeah, so it's like, well, I love you, fuck it, like
yeah.
But the difference, the difference with this scene is that, of course, so he has the tracker. There's basically a girl holed up in a barn. She's in the kind of like the top loft of the barn.
Yeah, and he starts calling out to her.
And he calls out to her. Well, first there's a scene of like she doesn't know who it is. She accidentally
no, she does not accidentally shoot him. She knows who it is.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
So he walks in, and at first she doesn't know who she is. She's antsy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't know exactly where they are, but he does know like within like
is within this area,
with a pretty small area. He knows,
and he's calling out to her.
He's calling out to her. He knows she's somewhere in the building or very close to the building, and he's calling out to her. He doesn't know that she's up in the loft. She accidentally knocks over some noisy little noisemakers, some cans and shit. And then when he hears that, he calls out to her like loud as shit, and he's like he knows exactly where she is at this point. What does she do?
She fucking unloads on him.
Busts him open at that point.
And then she kind of freaks out after she does it. And she goes down there, And he's like, it's not funny, but it's like the fact that he's all shot up at this point. And then he's like, I've loved you for a long, long time. He literally says, I've loved you for a long, long time.
I like
And she's like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that? Because she's like, you never talked to me or anything.
And that's the part, too, is where, like...
Why she kind of didn't trust him.
At some point, she knows who it is. Like, when he's calling out to her, and...
I think she knew who it was. She clearly didn't trust him. And we get why. He never talked to her or anything, even though he was in love with her. That's some high school ass shit right there.
Exactly. But you get to get like confronted by it in this kind of very dramatic way. But I like in the scene how like the tension definitely rises because it's like at first she doesn't know who it is, and then of course he knows who he's looking for. He doesn't know where she is. They find out where each other are. He shoots him, and then you find out like of course she's scared because she has no idea who this guy is, and. Like he's like, you never like talk to me.
Yeah.
And I like the part too where I don't remember why she asked this or exactly how she says it, but she's like, why did you do this? And then he's just like, because you're cute. I like that a lot.
Because you're cute and I love you.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, that was crazy.
That's one thing we were kind of just discussing is like a lot of this feels like it could be like in the moment, like adrenaline shit where they're just like, I loved you the whole time, or like whatever, or they're just like, I liked you the whole time. A lot of people are telling people they like each other.
Yeah.
But in this part, it's like he has no reason to be kind of like in an adrenaline state or anything. He's kind of accepted his death almost already.
Yeah.
He's like,
he right there. Yeah, he got shot up, but he says it anyways.
And he's just like he gets it too. Like I think there was a part of him that was kind of like, maybe there's reading into it a little too much. I don't know.
No, read into it, please. Please,
there's plenty of room. But yeah, I think maybe part of it was just like, we're fucked. We're all gonna die. Of course, that plays a factor into most of the characters' mindsets. But I think there was a factor of it where it's like, I don't care if she just shoots me to death right now. Like, there's a part of it where he almost expects that maybe, or like he expects maybe something terrible to happen, but he's just like, the one thing I want to do on this island right now is just go see this girl and maybe talk to her.
Yeah, nah, this dude, because they told him about, like, Mamura wants to escape, Kawada has a plan, and this dude's like, no, I need to talk to the two girls in my life, which is kind of funny, and it's a bit heartwarming, you may say.
No, it is.
And it leads to a death. Sorry, bro.
I think it's really cute when she's like, why did you do this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're cute.
And then he dies. And then he dies, and she's crying, and then Mitsuko shows up, and she kills her. And I think this is when we get the flashback of her past or whatever. We kind of get why she kind of fucked.
I don't think it's in that.
It's during this scene, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's in the theatrical one or whatever.
There's no way.
What happens?
If when you see her as a little girl.
What happens?
She's like, so she goes home. She's saying bye to her friend. She's a little girl. She goes home, and her mom is like on the table, like clearly
OD,
drunk or like drugged out, strung out.
I don't think it's in the theatrical.
There's no way. It has to be.
You want to look it up real quick?
Okay, yeah.
That's
RNS viewers, we will give us this is intermission. I'll put some music here.
Please pick up your Pringles in the lobby.
Okay, RNS listeners, we are back. And what I was saying was, okay, so it is in the theatrical cut. There's no way you didn't see this. So there's the scene of Mitsuko's...
I didn't watch it on a reputable website, so maybe
Was it cut out? Okay. There's a scene of Mitsuko's...
I was definitely, like, dead-ass. I was glued to the screen, so I don't know how I could have missed it.
There's Mitsuko's flashback when she's a child. She comes home after saying bye to her friends, and her mother is, like, all strung out on drugs or something. And there's some random dude there. So... her mom's strung out. There's a random dude there. And Miko's like, who the hell are you? To this dude. And she's like a little girl. And she's like, and the dude's like, oh, I'm mommy's friend. And he's like, oh, let's go upstairs to her.
Oh, no.
Yes. It's bad. And then we see that she has a bunch of money. The mother. So it kind of implied...
She sold her.
Yeah, she sold her daughter to this dude.
No, I don't remember that.
Are you serious?
I don't think I saw that.
Whoa. Okay, that's kind of a big scene to miss. But anyways, So yeah,
out of all this, honestly, that's one of the most fucked up things in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's really fucked. You get the idea why she's so fucked up.
Outside of literally the government making students like kill each other, that's probably the most fucked up.
Yeah.
Thing. Like just in general, it's probably the most fucked up thing in the movie.
Yeah. So the mother's like, "Oh, be strong, meets go," while she's all strung out with the money in her hands, and the guy takes her upstairs, and he has a doll and he undresses it, and he's like, "Oh, now you get like this or whatever." And she's like, no. And then he tries to grab her or something like that. And she just pushes him down the fucking stairs. No, he deserved it. Fuck him. But I thought it was funny, little girl pushing the guy down the stairs.
I look shocked, for listeners like you. I look shocked, but it wasn't out of fucking I'm not mad at her for killing the pedophile. I just didn't expect, how old is she? Like 9?
She's like a little girl.
Yeah, I didn't expect...
Probably younger than 9. She looks like little. She's like 7 or something. It's disturbing. Yeah, she pushes the dude down the fucking stairs. And I don't know if it's implied that he dies or not, but he's like, laying down. He's all fucked up. And the mom walks over there. And then the camera just moves up to her. And she's looking like angry as fuck. But yeah, so we get why she's kind of messed up in the head, I guess. Yeah.
For her, yeah. She's one of my favorite characters, I think.
No, she's great. She's a great villain or whatever. And then it comes back to after when she... I think it's right then it comes back to after when she killed that girl. And she's like, oh, there's no point in trying to resist. She's like, nobody's going to protect you. And then you get kind of the idea why she's saying that, because so much fucked up shit has happened to her.
And that part...
Because even her mother wasn't there for her. Her mother just tried to sell her.
I remember her saying that, but I don't remember the pedophile thing.
So it definitely must not have been there, because that's definitely a thing you would remember, I think, right?
What?
Yeah, so, because, like we said, Dylan watched it on a not-so-reputable website.
Yeah, I watched it on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Okay, so, I mean, maybe I fucked up and I wasn't paying attention, or I pissed and I left the movie going. I don't know. Maybe I fucked up, but I do remember her saying that.
Yeah,
because I remember thinking, well, freaking, what's the main characters? Yeah. They don't protect each other. You're wrong.
But yeah, so you get kind of why she's saying that.
Right.
And then Kiriyama comes and kills her. The two villains confront each other, which is kind of cool, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I forgot. How does he kill her?
Fucking everything.
Everything. He does everything.
They fight hand to hand. They fight with knives. They fucking gun shoot each other.
I think, no, he shoots her a bunch of times at the end, and she keeps getting up.
She even fakes her death at one point and gets back up.
Yeah. But then he keeps shooting her, and that's when you get the shot of her laying in the water. Yeah. I love that shot, by the way, of her just laying there.
Like how she
and then you hear her say, I just didn't want to be a loser anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's sad as fuck. And after the background, the flashback scene you get where it's just kind of sad.
My poor misunderstood girl.
You feel really bad for her.
Yeah,
and there's something in the director's cut that makes it even sadder, which I'll talk about at the end.
Is it part of the ending shit?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, okay. She does feel like one of the main... She feels like if there's a main character, she's the fourth one or something.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the main characters. But yeah, she says, I didn't want to be a loser anymore. And it's really sad.
I like her a lot.
And it's weird. Look, I just want to throw this in here. I haven't seen many. I think I've seen one person talk about this. But in the bootleg I originally watched of this movie, when she dies, because you know how when each character dies, it says their name, their number, dead. There's a question mark next to her name after she dies.
That's funny.
But it was only in the bootleg. It's not in the official one. So
I
didn't know if he was trolling the guy who fucking did the subs on the bootleg.
He was probably just a hopeful fan.
Yeah, he puts a question mark there. And I was always like, what the hell? After that, I was like, so maybe she lived?
That would be so cool.
It would be cool. I wish I was official.
She doesn't come back, does she?
In the sequel, no. Damn. No. I would have thought that was cool.
I like her a lot.
Yeah,
Well, I guess that plays into it too. Is she's probably the one with the most characterization,
and
outside of the main character.
Now we pretty much just get to the ending.
Yeah.
So I think there's a point where Mimura hacks the system or whatever, and you see his little character throwing the basketball in, and everything shut down. And I thought this was funny because Kitano, he just they're all freaking out, the soldiers, and he just pulls the plug. I thought that was funny. And I think they get the necklaces off their neck, right?
They don't really expressly say it because he's like, oh, it'll be back up in 15 minutes. And no one takes their necklace off during this period of time.
Okay, I thought maybe they took it off.
They all take their necklaces off at the end.
Yeah, Shiryu and them, but I'm talking about the hackers.
Maybe they
didn't take it off.
Maybe they were deactivated.
I'm thinking about how they have the thing. They have So they can't hear them or whatever.
Yeah.
They put like.
I think maybe they have it so it won't explode or hear them.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can take them off for some reason.
No, his necklace does definitely explode though, doesn't it? Oh no, I'm thinking about Kiriyama. Anyways,
he does explode, but
he does blow up. Yeah. So Kiriyama comes and kills them all after they shut down the system or whatever, and he said like he said it'll be back up in 15 minutes. But Kiriyama comes and kills them all, and then they have that bomb they're making or whatever. Yeah, that was it. They needed the supply for the bomb. They were gonna run it into the headquarters or whatever, I guess.
The school.
Yeah.
I guess their government they started running their little government thing out of the school on that island.
Yeah,
that was formerly a
but
school.
Kiriyama kills 2 of the kids, and then Mimura blows up the thing to try to kill him and Kiriyama so they can both get away. And
that's when they come up. Right?
So yeah, Mimura blows up their little bomb or whatever to try to kill him and Kiriyama. But it didn't kill him. This dude is immortal somehow. All it did was blind him.
I remember for a fact he was like... I remember thinking, oh, this is kind of weird that he would even try this because he's not that close. Like, he's...
Oh, yeah. I don't know how powerful of a bomb they were making or whatever.
The hacker kid is way closer to the bomb than the...
Yeah, because he is did he shoot it or hit it? I can't remember.
He hits it.
Oh, yeah, and it blows up.
Yeah, which is wacky.
Anyways, this guy... And all that happened from it was... He just get blinded.
Yeah, he gets Joker makeup.
Yeah. So this part is insane also. So Shuya, Noriko, and Kawada show up. And basically, so the two exchange students are going to have like a show off here. And now this dude is blind, so he's just just looking around. He can't see shit. And then Kawada he cocks a shotgun. Then he hears it. The way he turns around is so funny. It zooms in on his face. That's when you see he's blind and blood dripping out of his eyes. And he just shoots at him. And then Kawada takes the shotgun and just shoots the necklace. And kills him.
What it okay.
Yeah, and that's when he blows up. But he got shot in the process, which will come up later. And then the final hours of the game after this, and they're the last 3. Our three heroes, if you will. Are the last 3 left?
Perhaps one of them isn't as heroic as we thought.
Or is he? Ooh. So, yeah. It's the 3 of them left. And they're like, oh, yeah, so we're getting out of here now, right? And Quada's like, oh, you fucking idiots. You actually trusted me? He's like, that whole story I told you was bullshit. Right? He says, oh, everything I told you about my background was bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, you're so quick to trust me?
Yeah,
He was like, you would really shoot me with that gun?
Oh, yeah. And then you just hear gunshots from the teacher listening.
There are 2 gunshots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it switched perspectives. It's in, the military area, and the teacher hears 2 gunshots.
And the army's like, should we go check? And he's like, no, don't leave. The game's over. Which is kind of weird, but...
Yeah, like we were talking about, they have the intro scene where it shows a different game. I guess that was the previous one. And it shows the winner, and the winner's being swarmed by paparazzi as she's winning the game. So
yeah, but this one the teacher said, no, the game's over, you can all leave, which is kind of weird. Like it's like the teacher, he just has authority over the fucking military, which is crazy.
Yeah, through the whole movie.
It's crazy. And they just all leave. They're like, okay, and we all leave. They're like, yeah. I guess for them it's just another day in the job, so like, oh, we don't give a fuck.
It's
Let you
get to go home 30 minutes early.
Yeah,
so fuck it.
Yeah, you're right. So they're like, okay, and they just go home, and then Kawada shows up at the school, and then he calls them out in bullshit. He knows that all 3 of them are still alive. So he's like, you're the one who fucking hacked the system, right? So yeah, we should say Kawada wasn't actually... He was just saying the shit into the mic so he could think that he killed off Shuya and Noriko.
Yeah, he was acting like he was going to kill them and then let off 2 gunshots.
Yeah.
To make them think...
So he actually was genuine. His story was true and everything.
Yeah.
And he actually is their friend. So he shows up to the school, but the teacher, Katano, right away calls him out on his bullshit. And he's like... Yeah, I know it was you who hacked the system, not that one guy. Which is weird because his thing icon still showed up. It's really confusing how this works.
In my opinion, I thought that was just being like, oh, he didn't really have a full understanding of what happened. The teacher.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to understand. There's a lot of it.
I think he just assumed that he did it.
I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, in my opinion. So, like we've been saying, I don't think this is easy to read for someone who hasn't seen the movie. Real quick. So there's, of course, the hacker kid we were talking about.
Yeah.
They hacked their shit and turned it off. They turned off their system for 15 minutes.
Or was it him? We don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there's no indication throughout the whole movie that, like, kind of the main superhero guy, what's his name?
Kawada.
He's kind of the guy that he played the game before. And I think the teacher assumed, oh, since you've played this before, you knew it too well, you were able to hack it.
Yeah.
But I think that was just him assuming...
I kind of want to believe he was the hacker, though, because it lends even more to that. He knows he can do everything. I don't know. We don't know for sure. But anyways, he shows up, and then he says that to him. And then Shuya and Noriko walk in. They're still alive. So everyone's still alive. And I think this is when he reveals the painting, right? The teacher.
It is when he reveals the painting.
So Katano's like, you know what, Noriko?
Can we make the painting the thumbnail?
We can. As long as you add Jonesy in somewhere being killed.
I can't make that the thumbnail.
That'd be cool. Oh, let me just throw this in while I'm here. Brian Lee O'Malley, you know, the author of Scott Pilgrim, he did a poster for Mondo, which is like kind of similar to this drawing. He did a Battle Royale poster, which is like kind of like that drawing of all the students.
Like in his style?
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a poster he did for Mondo. I've seen it go for crazy amounts of money because, you know, Mondo does like limited runs of poster.
Mondo. I saw him real quick. I want to go on a tangent, Evan.
I wanted to buy that poster. Don't say fuck Mondo. Mondo, sponsor us. Give us a free poster. Send us stuff.
I mean, if you want to send us free stuff, I'll peddle your shit. But god damn, I was looking at it. Was just a print of some old Jack Kirby.
Oh, it's expensive. It's expensive.
So a print of some old Jack Kirby art on a poster.
Expensive.
Guess what? $50.
But I don't think 50 is too much to charge for original art. I don't think it's too much.
It's not original art though.
I'm just saying.
I can take, but then the original art's like 100. It's like, so fuck Mondo. I mean, they make cool shit, but it's like way too much money.
I like their posters a lot. I wanted to get that poster, but it's just the amount of people selling it. It's just like crazy. It's like yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I can't buy it.
But that's a cool idea too. I like that idea of that poster being in like Brian Lee O'Malley, Scott Pilgrim art style.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'll show it to you after the podcast. Maybe we can put it up. Maybe
that can be the thumbnail.
We should put it up during the video here.
Hey man, that's your job this week, so.
I thought you were doing the video part out of it though.
Hell no. This is your week where you
at. Okay. Anyways, so yeah. He's like, oh, Noriko, you're alive? Well, guess what? Let me show you something. Which really weird. Okay, that's obviously not exactly how it happens, but, you know, I'm spitballing it. He reveals the painting he made, which is kind of funny. You don't really think too much of it, but throughout the movie, you actually do see him working on something.
You see a painting?
Yeah.
I didn't think about
You only see little bits of it, and then you get the payoff at the end. He shows him painting of all the students, like, killing each other. And then in the middle, there's Noriko.
And also, to be noted, they're all naked.
No, they weren't.
They're all naked.
No.
I'm pretty sure they're all naked.
They are not all naked, Dylan. Let me see.
I'm pretty sure.
I have to Google Battle Royale painting right now.
Maybe just how weird it was made me think they're all naked, but I think they're all naked.
They are not all naked.
Let me look at it.
Here you go. Maybe because their uniforms are kind of like...
Some of them are being torn off.
No, it's like skin color, I guess.
Oh, you're right. Okay, the uniform is...
I can see why you seemed even more weirded out by it than I did, which is already weird. You're like, they're all naked. That would be really creepy.
But that almost would have been maybe better.
Anyways, so yeah, he just shows him painting where all the students are killing each other, except Noriko. She's in the middle, just smiling, happy. And he's like, you know what? He tells her, like, you're really the only good one of all these students. He tells her that pretty much. And he's like, you're worth dying for. He tells her that, which is really weird for a teacher to tell a student, but...
I do think... Well, do you want to just continue this part?
Yeah, and then he starts walking up to her, and he basically tells her, like, just kill me. He's... right?
Well, he literally says, like, he says, shoot me or I'll shoot you.
Yeah, and he pulls out the gun. And this is where we get a great scene. Where Shuya remembered from... I guess we didn't talk about this at the beginning. Shuya's dad killed himself at the beginning of the movie.
We didn't talk about that.
No.
That's pretty big, I guess.
Yeah, Shuya's father had killed himself. That's why he's in the foster home at the beginning of the movie. And we get through little flashbacks, we see that his dad was kind of he was out of a job, I think, and he was also kind of an asshole. We get that scene where he freaks out at the restaurant.
He is a strange character,
yeah.
But I think mostly...
And then he killed himself... well, after he was shitting himself or something, because we see his pants were down. I think he hung himself with a belt, and then he wrote on the toilet paper, "Go Shuya, you can do it, Shuya."
Yeah.
And then Shuya remembers that scene, that note. Go Shuya, you can do it, Shuya. And then in that moment, thinking about that, he's like, oh yeah, I can do it. And he shoots Kitano.
Yeah.
And Kitano freaks out. He's like, ah! And then he pulls out, he shoots the gun, and it's a water gun.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually going to kill them.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And one thing I really like too is like, I don't think anything happens in between this. But so, they, like you said, they shoot him. He like starts shooting back with the water gun. He's kind of falling down, and he's like, fuck, that hurt.
Yeah.
And he's like shooting them with the water gun.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And then so he's dead. And then I don't think they even talk or anything. They're just kind of like, oh fuck, like this is a wacky scenario.
Yeah, he shoots him after he shoots the water gun. Shuya shoots even more out of like reflex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and I think that's when he's a good says, oh fuck. And then I think he's dead. He's just laying there. And that's when they all take off the necklaces.
Oh, okay. They do take
so
off the
somehow
necklaces.
I think Kawada found a way for them to take off the necklace. Like I said, there's a lot to read into, a lot up for interpretation with this whole escape plan. So
I think you can assume, like, after he's like, everyone wrap it up, leave, they just turn all the necklaces off.
Something. We don't fully know, but it's something like
I
that.
would assume that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
so
just the
they all
simplest
take the necklaces off there, and they throw them, and then the phone rings, and they're like, what the hell? And then he gets back up, Kitano, and it's his daughter, and I think she's again just like, oh, where are you? And he's like, he basically like, fuck you to his daughter. Then he takes out a real gun and shoots the phone.
Well, I like that part a lot, just the way, it also adds to it too, like, he doesn't just shoot the phone, like I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, yeah, I'm never coming home, like, don't you judge me, and he throws the phone across the room, and then he takes out the gun and shoots it across the room. It's just like...
He's like, where he tells her, he's like, if you hate someone, you gotta deal with the consequences. So he's like, I'm never coming home.
That's a really good line.
Yeah, so
that's a really good line.
And he hangs up and just shoots the phone.
That part made me like, I was like, I'm probably too stupid to know, but that probably means something. I was like, that probably is like a deeper theme to the movie. I don't know what it is, but that's a really good line.
Yeah, I do like that line.
And I also like too how this is a much more like MCU type of impressive thing to me. But I like the fact that they established like he could have just killed him if he wanted to.
Oh, because he had the real gun on him.
Because not only did he have the real gun on him, but he was able to just shoot the cell phone from across the room. Which, of course, everyone in this movie, like, when they need to, they have impeccable aim.
Yeah.
But
oh, and we should just say, while on the whole Noriko and him thing, there is a flashback during the movie where we see that she was the only one who came to class. They all skipped.
Yeah.
So, first, I guess, that stuck with him, I guess. Because I think he thinks about it in a scene in the movie.
Right.
So he's like, she doesn't deserve this. All these other students are all assholes, but she does not deserve to be this.
Do you want to talk about him a little more now?
Well, let's talk about his death first. He eats a cookie, and then he dies.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I thought that was funny. He said, damn good cookies, and then that's when he bites it.
And he doesn't even really eat it. He just puts it in his mouth.
Yeah, he said, damn good cookie, and he dies.
Oh, yeah, this man said, last one.
Yeah. So, what do you want to say about him?
I think, I definitely don't think it's a sexual thing.
No. I don't think that either.
Which is
why you threw me off when you said that they were all naked in the painting.
Well, also, that could mean a number of things.
Big brain.
Well, I mean, it's like, they're all innocent.
Yeah.
Like maybe he regrets everything. I don't know. But, so I think he just, it's kind of obvious, I guess. He sees him as like, I wish my daughter had some respect for me like she does.
Yeah.
Like, even though she wasn't like, they didn't have a relationship really as a student-teacher, but she was like the one student that showed him respect.
Yeah. And she says also in the movie that she had a dream about him.
Does she?
Yeah, there's a dream with them eating the ice cream together.
Oh.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, I had a dream about it. So they have this weird connection with each other.
Oh, because that's what...
And I have more to say about that scene that has to do with the director cut. But you were saying?
Oh, I'm interested to hear about the director's cut.
Yeah.
I wish I watched that instead.
My bad, Dylan. I should have brought the Blu-ray on Saturday. My bad.
I didn't know the director's cut even really existed, but I remember that scene now because I thought that was a different character at first.
Oh my god.
Because I was confused. Dead ass. But also, to be fair, there's like 30 characters.
No, there's a lot of characters.
So,
yeah, and it's not that long, the movie. So there are a lot of characters put into it.
But for as many characters there are in a short...
No, I'm gonna say I think it's like perfectly executed personally.
I'm saying that, yeah. Like for as short as it is, and for as many named characters as there are, it's.
I think it's all done perfectly,
very well
in
done,
my
and
opinion.
it's pretty easy to track everything.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, just me like watching 360p on an alternative streaming service. I kind of got a little confused. But yeah, I do remember that scene now where she does talk about having a dream with him.
Yeah, it was them eating the ice cream together.
But I guess that that represents kind of like they both had some type of mutual respect. Like
she
has more respect for authority than most kids, or whatever.
Well, yeah, and also it's weird. She took the knife that Nobu stabbed him with or cut him with,
that was weird.
And she kept it. So it's weird. They do have this weird relationship with each other. It's never like fully delved into, but like you said, they have this mutual respect for each other.
Was that supposed to like maybe throw you off a little bit in terms of like him liking her? Because I think when I was watching that scene,
I don't know. Even doesn't she say like she didn't really know why she kept the knife? She kind of did because she was there. It was after she left, right? Because he told her, "Oh, you can go home," even though she was the only one to show up to class. Mm-hmm. That's when. And
then he got cut. Up and cuts him in the.
It was right after that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that confused me a little bit because they linger on that for a little while, and I was kind of thinking just now. I didn't think about it when I was watching it, but I was like, "Is this kind of maybe to throw you off of?" I don't know who the fuck could pay attention this hard, but is it to kind of throw you off the scent of like, oh, he's gonna wind up liking her later? Because it kind of.
Because he stares at her after she grabs the knife, but she's hiding it. But he like stares at her when he's washing the blood off.
The way Nobu cuts him, I didn't play it back, but I wasn't sure. But when he cuts him, I don't think he sees who did it.
But he does know, because remember when he sees Nobu again for the first time, he's like, "Oh, you decided to come back." He said that really hurt what you did in my ass. Remember he says that.
Did he cut him on the ass?
It was like on the leg, but he says I don't know if it's a mistranslation or whatever, but. In the translation, he said, like, my ass really hurt. That's what he said. Oh, okay. Yeah. That could just be like, oh, shit, like, my ass hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it could be a general thing.
You hurt my ass.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So.
But, yeah, I was like, is that, like, a weird, like, roundabout way of throwing you off of, like, he likes her and he's going to have, that's going to pay off? I don't know. That would be
I know what you mean. No, yeah.
It'd be a very weird. I don't think anyone could pay attention to that.
There's a lot to read into, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so he does have that respect for her. And like you said, I guess in a way he kind of wishes that could be his daughter.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he even specifically wishes that she was his daughter, but I think he wishes that, like, his daughter had at least that level of respect for him.
Yeah, I agree.
And it kind of represents the lacking of respect in general for all the students. It's like he wishes that, like...
They could all be like her.
Any kid were as respectful as her.
Yeah, I agree. After that... This is when we get the escape scene. They go on the boat. And then he's like, oh, my dad was a fisherman. Or whatever he says. So I know how to drive this boat. And he tells Shirya, just keep going straight and you're going to hit land. And he lays down. And he starts smoking a cigarette. And then when he tells them about his girlfriend again, he's like, you know what, meeting you guys, I think I finally understood why she smiled at me like that. And he's like, oh, I finally made some real friends. So I guess... Whatever that means with the smile, but that's what he says there. It's a really heartwarming scene, and he passes away from the gunshots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says he's getting sleepy.
Yeah, is that what he says? Yeah.
Yeah, he says I'm sleepy all of a sudden. I need a nap. Yeah,
and that's when he lays down, and passes away. And that scene really breaks my heart a lot because I really like him a lot.
I like it a lot too, but it's also really nice that, of course, they reveal like. He's basically just there to avenge his girlfriend. Big air quotes. Avenge his girlfriend. I don't know how the fuck he thought he was going to do that.
Was it to avenge her?
Yes.
I thought he was saying, oh, I wanted to find out what she meant with the smile. Well, no, he's not even there on purpose. They dragged him in.
That's true.
Yeah, he's not there on purpose.
Well, I know, okay, at the very least, I know the teacher says to him, you're here to avenge.
Oh, he does say that, right? He's there to avenge, yeah, the teacher tells him.
Kariko.
What's her name?
Something like that. It starts with a K.
Either way, he's there to avenge her. Yeah, he does say that. You're right.
But
he knows he's mad about something. He's like...
Okay, to be fair though, yeah, he did get dragged in. I forgot about that. Because at first I was like, how was he planned to avenge someone in this scenario?
No, he didn't choose to be back in.
But he does because he dies to save a different couple.
Damn. That's deep.
I like that a lot.
I didn't really think about that.
It's very nice.
Oh, yo, I never really thought about that. It's kind of like he's giving them the future that he wasn't able to have.
Yeah, he was able to make that work for someone else.
I never really thought about it like that. So yeah.
But even then, I still really do like And that's why this is, man, fuck Hunger Games. The one reason I think this is way better than Hunger Games is because in Hunger Games, the reason 2 of them survive is because everyone on TV is like, PETA, Katniss. Like, this fucking stupid shit. And, like, they're like, President, like, they're gonna riot if we don't let them win.
Oh, that is pretty stupid.
It's pretty much, that's not exactly it, but it boils down to that. Like, it's because of public perception and shit like that. But in this movie, of course, like, it's a mixture of empathy in some type of way from the teacher mixed with, like, their ingenuity.
Yeah.
Which is way fucking more interesting and funner to watch. And
then the public shipping 2 of the contestants
exactly.
in the show.
And one thing I really wanted to mention, too, also is the original death. I really like that, too, because it's very understated. Like I said, like, you can interpret it however you want. I like to interpret it as, like, they both understood. I'm sorry, what are their names?
Shuya and Noriko?
No.
Who?
In the old one.
Oh, it's Kawada. I don't know his girlfriend's name.
Kawada, and I think it starts with a K.
Okay.
But the guy that was in the previous game and his girlfriend, when it's down to just them, they're going to get their collars blown up because they won't kill each other. They realize, like, one of us is going to die. So they shoot each other, and then she just smiles. And I like that because you can interpret it a lot of ways. The way I interpret it is, like, of course, what I said. But she smiles, and the way I interpret that is, like, hey, I was willing to kill you, but I wanted one of us to die. I wanted one of us to live, at least.
Yeah.
So she was happy about that.
And he got to let both of the people live.
Because I guess
to let a happy couple get away.
And I like the movie in general because it definitely has a theme of, like, community or, like, tribalism.
Yeah.
Over being, like, a loner or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, even though it's a very small part, and it's just an example because it's in the movie, but the couple that kill themselves, I think the movie says that they're wrong.
To have killed themselves?
They're wrong for giving up, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. These 2 characters are rewarded in the end for not having taken the easy way out.
Of course, yeah, and also, like, even if it does come down to one of you, like, don't you want your love to live at least, or don't you want to live for your significant other, like...
Yeah, I can see what you mean now.
You should want to live for each other, yeah.
In Kawada's case, one of them got to live, and then Shuya's case, they both got to live, instead of both of them dying. Yeah. So I can see what you mean, yeah.
And just that general kind of, like, working together is always the answer, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of, because that kind of goes with the very end of the movie. Just, like, trying to keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Which we get with... Okay, so the end of the movie is we see that Shuya and Noriko are back in mainland Japan. I think they're in Tokyo. They got all of Noriko's stuff from her parents, and they're basically on the run from the law. Because they're both wanted for murder. Yeah. That's what it says, yeah.
The reveal of that made me laugh.
Yeah.
No joke, like, their wanted posters, it says wanted for murder. It's like...
For killing Kitano, I think.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like... Really?
No, I know. It dude's a piece of shit, but
that's really
whatever.
Funny. That's really funny.
Anyways, so yeah, and then the end is just them running away. And then, like you said, kind of just trying to keep the hope alive. Or
yeah, and I really like...
He says, just run for all you're worth, keep running. And that's how the movie ends.
He says, we both have weapons now, and he was like, we'll
only use them if we have to.
Yeah, we'll only use them if we have to.
And it will never be an easy choice.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah, and then he just said, run for all your worth, which is like you said, just you shouldn't give up, just keep trying, even if they had to be on the run for
that
the rest of your life.
parallels what his dad says to him.
Yeah, go Shuya go.
Yeah, go Shuya go versus
So that's the end of the movie, at least for you. That is the end of the movie, pretty much. Anyway.
For the layman, for the average Caucasian like me. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, so the director's cut has like 3, they call it I can't even say the word.
Requiem.
Yeah, they had 3 of those. They're pretty much just epilogue scenes.
Right, okay.
Similar to Zack Snyder Justice League.
Not dissimilar to all the Joker fucking fart fetish scenes at the end of Justice League.
Yeah, it has a few epilogue scenes, which is pretty much a few of the dream sequences and flashbacks kind of shown in full. So one of them is Shuya's dream with Nobu, which is Nobu telling Shuya to protect Noriko. That's all it is. It's just that scene.
Longer version?
Yeah, pretty much. Then the next one is or this might be the first one, but anyways, it's the basketball game that you see in flashbacks throughout a few of the scenes. It's basically them all playing the basketball game and cheering at the end. And then you see Mitsuko. She's trying to get in on it and cheering everybody, but nobody likes her at all.
Aww.
Yeah, and it's basically her just like walking off because like she does not have any friends.
Aww.
So that kind of goes more with why
I like when she
does not give a fuck at all in this game because
like
she doesn't have any
girl,
friends.
really.
She has a terrible past. What were you gonna say?
I'm sorry.
No, what were you saying?
I just forgot to mention that. I like when she calls the main girl ugly. When she tries to kill her. Like before the teacher guy walks up and saves her.
Yeah, I
like,
remember.
Die, ugly.
That is kind of funny.
But yeah, that's very sad. And of course, like I said, I really like that character.
Yeah.
I really like that character.
And then the final one is the dream of Kitano and Noriko. Her dream of them together.
It's the actual like ice cream dream?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's them just talking. And I forgot exactly what they say. But she's like... It's something along the lines of like... She's like... It's kind of weird for me to be hanging out with the teacher, but I think you're kind of cool, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're just like jumping on rocks, eating ice cream together. And then at the end...
Wait, is that in the movie?
The dream sequence in like... That's earlier in the movie. I don't think there's any dialogue. It's just them looking at each other and eating the ice cream.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But this is like the whole scene with dialogue. And it's something like that. Like he says like, it's weird for us to be hanging out with each other, but I kind of like you. And then I forgot exactly what said, but at the end, this is the final line of the movie in the director's cut before it ends. So they're eating the ice cream, and then he said to her, "Tell me, in this moment, what should an adult say to a kid?" And then just says that in in text on a black screen, and then the movie ends.
Huh.
Which is kind of weird, which, I don't know. So that's the end of the movie. I guess we can talk about some of the themes of it. What'd you take out of it?
Well, with the addition of that, too, it kind of makes me think more of because, of course, I was saying, like, the tribalism thing and, like, working together.
Yeah.
But also there's the aspect of... Like,
generational divide.
Yeah. Like, there should be that aspect of working together also between adults.
Generation, yeah. So, like, what I really wanted to talk about as far as themes go is the generational divide thing. So, I think the point of that dream sequences or whatever is that maybe these two can kind of bridge that divide together. And also, I think a lot of it is kind of reflective on society as a society, Joker. Anyways, a lot of it's kind of criticism of society as a whole. Like we always see, the whole okay boomer shit. A lot of times, the older generation blames the problems that we have now on the younger generation. And I think that's a big thing that this movie's kind of criticizing, in my opinion. Because a lot of the adults that we see in this movie are complete pieces of shit. They're horrible.
It's like The Simpsons or South Park.
Yeah, and so have we seen everybody they blamed on the youth though and made them go through this shit. Well, firstly, them forcing kids to kill each other is already horrible. Shuya's dad was, part of it was the government's fault and the whole economic collapse, why he couldn't really find a job. But he left his kid on his own, basically.
Nothing, yeah.
He killed himself and just left it on his own. Mitsuko's mother tried to sell her to a fucking pedophile.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So yeah, I think a lot of it's... Well, Kitano, instead of being with his daughter, trying to bring a family together, he's focusing on the game. So, these adults aren't taking responsibility for their actions.
But
they blame the shit that's happening all around them on the youth, but they're not looking at themselves and seeing, like, maybe we're the reason the youth is so fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a...
Like, the government economic collapse thing, obviously, that's an adult thing. They caused this.
Yeah, no, 0 kids had anything to do with that.
You know what I mean? So, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, during the movie, especially during the beginning, I was like, I know this isn't some mainstream, like, Disney shit. Not in terms of, like, what happens in it, but in terms of the messaging. Because it felt almost in the beginning like it was like, you know what, you better be nice to your teacher, you're going to die. Like, I was like, I wonder what the message is of this movie. But now that I'm thinking about it here, it's more like what you're saying is like, these kids are in this situation unfair. Like obviously, this punishment does not fit the crime.
Yeah.
That type of way, and it's kind of saying like, your kids are on you, not the kids. They're kids.
Yeah, like obviously, they do have some problems and they're messed up, but like we see, a lot of it is the adult's fault. Like Mitsuko, for example, her mother tried to fucking
Pretty
sell
big
her.
example.
Yeah, or Shuya's dad just killing himself. So, and you know what? I'll just or no, even Nobu. Nobu, he skipped class and everything, but we see he was a foster kid. So
Right,
clearly
yeah.
his parents gave up on him. And I'll say this, Noriko, we don't really know too much about her background, but they do say that, she had both her parents, and I think they took good care of her. Because I remember they talked about, I think she went to say goodbye to her sleeping parents or whatever and take herself.
They do mention at least she says
So,
goodbye to her parents, yeah.
Clearly she had both her parents in her life. And we see she was the good girl. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she
being
was...
raised
Yeah.
by, good parents versus
That's funny.
having no good adults in your life.
The only inclination of any of them having a decent home life is the one girl that was, actually, like, accepted and, like, willing to kind of work with the teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
So, I think that's a big thing in this movie.
But it's interesting,
adults
too.
need to be more reflective on themselves.
Really, the only decent adult that we see
it's the teacher who
is the
fucking
teacher,
dies.
and the teacher, guess what, is a child murderer. A double child murderer.
Oh, I think I meant the teacher who dies at the beginning. Their new teacher.
Oh, yeah, he's a
Because they say he didn't want them to be...
But he's...
And they show what happened to him.
But like, of course, does he even speak? Does he speak?
He's playing the game with the two girls in the back of the bus.
Oh,
at
he
the
speaks
beginning.
for a quick second.
Yeah, and then when he sees him going to the tunnel, you see his face change. No, he sees the military and he go into the tunnel, and he kind of realizes what's going on. And they're like, "Oh, your teacher had some resistance to this," and they show him dead.
And they show his devastated body.
Yeah,
that's another thing we didn't even mention that off the top.
Yeah, he tried to save them. Their new teacher.
Yeah, the new teacher. Damn.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's like the biggest like theme in the movie for me, anyways. It's just like, well, not necessarily the biggest theme, but that's what I take away from it.
But I think the generational thing,
yeah,
plus like working together, I think those both, they're like perfectly connected. Like,
yeah,
it's just like the tribal thing or like the working to the teamwork thing is just specified more by the generational thing. Whereas, like, it's more specifically about synergy between the generations.
You're right. It's a lot of it is really pushing community versus individualism.
Yeah.
Which, in general, is more of an Asian thing.
Yeah, it is.
Community is usually a thing versus, like, in America where good old capitalist is individualistic.
You gotta pull your shit up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's interesting.
They are kind of pushing that we just all need to work together. Because, look, when the students who work together, it turned out okay for them.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Those girls with the megaphone.
Well, you might die if you have a megaphone.
Yeah. Maybe have a gun.
Be smart about it.
Have a gun and a megaphone.
Work together, but be smart about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, any other, like, big themes you took away from it?
You know what? Give me a moment, and I'll check my notes. I realize I haven't checked my notes the entire... Yeah, we've been over everything I said. So, I guess I'm good. But I guess, do you have anything more to speak on as to why this is your favorite movie? Is there anything else?
It's just the perfect meld of everything for me. Like, I love high school dramas. I like, like teen movies. Those are always awesome. Like John Hughes type stuff.
Coming of age movies.
Yeah, and you got like aspects of that. I love violent J horror or just Japanese action movies. You got that. You have some like what's it called? Soap opera thrown in there.
That falls in with the teen stuff too, and they get drama. Yeah.
You just got a good bit of everything. And for that reason, I really like it. And it's all, like, just blended well, blended so perfectly, in my opinion. And I feel the characters are so greatly written. This is, like, one of my favorite cast of characters in a movie. Which, like you said, like, we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of characters in this. Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are really memorable. Especially for a movie that's only, like, 2 hours long.
Even the ones that get one scene or so.
Well, yeah, like Chigusa.
All of them technically get more than one scene, but more than one scene where they're the focus. Or most of the characters get one scene where they're the focus. Yeah, that's it. But still, a lot of them you can point to and be like, I like the fucking... Do you have a character like that you like? I like the Bulletproof Vest guy. Do you have any, like, short bit characters that you liked?
Well, we did talk about Chigusa. I really like her scene a lot. The girl with the
I guess she is pretty...
she's only really... Like, you see her... She has a line at the beginning of the movie, and then she doesn't really get another scene until then. That might be my favorite scene in the movie. I really like that a lot. But yeah, so for that reason, I really like it. The score is amazing, in my opinion. I love the score. Just everything done so well. That's why I really like it.
I think and we did talk about this off top too. Why it's your favorite movie? But I just wanted to, just in case we missed anything along the way.
Yeah.
But I definitely think my favorite part is, like I said at the beginning, you agreed with me, of course, the tone. Like,
yeah.
The tone is, it's not an easy thing to do.
No, definitely not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just
movie.
Imagine to meld so many things together so perfectly.
Yeah.
It just covers so much ground in such a short movie, and it does it so well. It like blows my mind every time I watch it.
Well, you know what, Evan? I think this movie's kind of, it's kind of like a big full plate, like a full home cooked meal.
Yes.
And it's got all your bases covered. You got everything you want or need. You got a nice beverage with. You got everything. So I
got a nice soda pop.
No soda pop, orange juice.
Oh, orange juice.
And we just got a whole.
I like orange juice, so
3-course meal, and I'm ready to dip my toe back into some shitty Burger King type movies.
Well, let me ask you this, Dylan. Speaking of shit, let me ask you this.
Speaking of shit,
is there anything you didn't like in the movie?
That's a good question.
What don't you like, Dylan? Tell me.
I don't like how they're all clothed in the painting.
I'll be waiting, Dylan.
Shit. It's perfect. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
There's nothing you don't like?
There's one thing. It was similar to your issue you said. What did you say again? Oh,
The
it was
hacking
similar
and
to like the
confusion.
little... It was like a little bit of information that didn't quite fit. I don't remember what it was, though.
Well, Dylan, we'll just say you thought it was perfect.
I did.
So
No, actually, that's one thing I did want to say before we leave, Evan. Is that there are certain movies on my Letterboxd. Evan, feel free to plug your Letterboxd. Mine is DY. That's right, just 2 letters.
It's crazy that you got that.
Username DY.
It's crazy.
Um,
Mine is Nintenkage.
Nintenkage.
It's a really stupid weeb name, but whatever. Nintenkage. Nintenkage.
Follow for follow.
Follow me on Letterboxd. No, I won't be doing follow for follow. You'll just be following me.
Um,
Just kidding. I'll follow you back.
Fucking check it out. Yeah.
Check it out.
But it's one of the movies on Letterboxd that I love to rate because for me, a 10 out of 10 doesn't necessarily mean it's perfect. Like, nothing's perfect.
No, I just do it on personal enjoyment usually.
But it's not even just that. It's just like for example, Uncut Gems, I think I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
And that's not like a perfect movie to me. And definitely the themes in this resonate with me more than Uncut Gems, even though Uncut Gems is good. This isn't about Uncut Gems. But my point is, in a movie where I can see that probably everyone or most people involved, like, they were very passionate about it. They try a lot of different things. Like, or not even that, just like I can tell they worked really hard on the movie, and it shows through in the product. That usually gets a 5 stars for me. Most of my 5 stars, I think, are that kind of thing. Like, I love Iron Man, or like, whatever. But that probably wouldn't get a 5 stars. But movies where it's like someone loved to make this movie. It was someone's dream to make this movie. They loved making this. That's usually what gets 5 stars for me.
Yeah.
That felt like one of those movies.
Well, this was his last movie. Kinji Fukatsuga's
He
last.
died?
He died. He was really old.
God rest his soul.
This was his last movie, and part 2. He directed like one scene for part 2.
Oh, really?
And then he died, and his son finished the movie.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we should talk about part 2 one day.
Yeah, man. No, I'm sure we're gonna have lull weeks where, personally, I would like to pick the next one.
Yes.
But
I didn't even pick this one. You were like, we should talk about Battle Royale. I was like, bet.
Well, our original idea was we were going to talk about our top 5 movies each, which I'm very glad we didn't do that, because I like this discussion a lot.
Me too.
But I just thought, like, that's a little too cluttered and shit, and I'm just glad.
And we're usually cluttered enough anyways.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad we just had the time to just sit down and I got to watch Battle Royale for the first time, and we got to talk about it, like, extensively, and It was fun.
It was fun.
So I think it was a much better idea than doing like a top 5 episode or something. And for the next one, if we have a week where there's not too much new going on or anything,
Back to the Future?
I would like to do my favorite movie, Back to the Future.
I'm down.
I love Back to the Future.
Hopefully we have a lot to say about Back to the Future.
And then the next one, if you don't have another choice, we'll do Battle Royale 2.
Okay, bet.
You have anything else to say?
That's pretty much everything I gotta say. I already plugged my Letterboxd, so.
Well, that's some real nerd shit.
Dylan, is there something you maybe want to plug?
There's maybe a little
that
something
maybe dropped the day before this drops, hopefully.
There's maybe a little something I would like to mention is my channel, my YouTube channel, Capes and Tights. I know one or two of you came over here from there already, but I'm sure there's people that don't know I make a YouTube channel called Capes and Tights. There's two unique Batman tier lists up there right now as we speak.
Oh, you did 2 different videos?
One of them's from a year ago.
Okay.
But they're very similar. The newer one's a little...
I think maybe you dropped 2 new ones.
No.
Okay.
You're not that lucky, my friend.
Okay.
You're not that lucky. Count your blessings.
I'm hyped for one. One is good enough for me.
One is good enough for you? The first one I did like a year ago is Villains, and I figured like I'll get into what I did last time. It was kind of fun and easy and fun to edit and whatever. So I did the every Batman movie, including all the animated movies. It's a fun time.
It was a fun time.
Good time. Evan, what's your favorite Batman movie?
My favorite Batman movie? You know what? I'm just gonna be generic and say The Dark Knight.
Well, that sucks.
Because I'm really only into the Nolan movies. I haven't seen the older ones. Because I started watching the Tim Burton Batman. I was like, this sucks.
This man's too good for cartoons.
That's not true.
Too good for Batman. Good for Keaton.
You know what? One day we'll do the Michael Keaton movies. So I'll be forced to watch them. We will. One day.
Maybe on my on my second.
On your birthday.
Oh, but yeah. We didn't really mention. There's kind of nothing going on this week for us to talk about, but we opted out of Space Jam and Black Widow.
Yeah.
So yeah, next
That's
time.
why we talked about it a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, next time a week like this comes about, where either we don't want to talk about the 2 blockbusters that just came out, or there's literally nothing to talk about, maybe like the fucking 3rd or 4th time we'll talk about 89 Batman.
That'd be cool.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's all I gotta say. We plug Capes and Tights. Check out our Letterboxd, and thanks for listening.
RNS, real nerd shit.
Real nerd shit the whole time.
Thanks for listening. Give us your money. Bye-bye.